Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening to everybody. It is showtime with the Lewis Sports Network. It is your boy Lewis, and I'm back once again with a Sunday evening pod, if you want to call it a podcast, live stream video with your boy Lewis Sports Network. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure that you're sharing this on your social medias. Make sure to share this on Reddit, and make sure your notifications are turned on. Share the stream. Hope everybody is having a great Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody's had a wonderful day. Let me know who was in the building in the chat. Can't wait to interact with you guys, and I'm looking forward to this Miami Heat video. That it just got me to thinking that I thought that it was important that we need to make this video so that people really understand what is going on. And again, salute to the chat. We got the lowly one already. Kenneth Wright is already in here. What's up? Shout out to Caden. Shout out to Weiss. Shout out to Joel. We already in here. Let's go. Shout out to Jermaine. Shout out to Layla who was doing it earlier. So my apologies, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I want to make sure that my audio is good to go so that I'm able to provide the entertainment. Like I said, what is going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Let me know what your plans are for Memorial Day tomorrow, if you guys have any. So let me know in the comments before we get started. And once I interact, shout out to Mr. D2 Holloway. What's happening? Like I said, I had to do this one, man, because it's stemming off of something that what I had to do from what I was watching. Kenneth said, here we go. Yep, here we go. Here it comes. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Ron in the building. Appreciate it, man. All right, let's go. We already got 9 people already watching. Let's get the likes. Let's get the subscribers up, man. Let's go. Let's go. It's about to get fire up in here. Let us go. Let me know what your plans for Memorial Day are. Freddie Gee says, Lou the Wop. Shout out to Freddie Gee in the building. Like I said, we're about to break down this Miami Heat team. And like I said, as great as they are, they underachieved. Like I said, let me know what you guys' plans are for Memorial Day weekend. And, how's it been so far? And then, what are your plans on Memorial Day as well? And make sure you guys come back tomorrow because I'm coming back with another video. It's on the Bulls and about the who's really dry snitching out here. Is it Scottie Pippen? Is it Horace Grant? Or is it Michael Jordan? Stay tuned for that tomorrow on the Lewis Sports Network. But if y'all having that, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to hit the subscribe as you guys come in because this is gonna definitely. I feel this is definitely is gonna be a banger. Like, let's go. And shout out to Layla with the update. She says we already got 25 likes already, man. And it's like, I appreciate the love already. It's crazy. I was not expecting that, but I want to thank everybody for liking the video. Appreciate it. Shout out to Mr. D. Holloway. He says, we're grilling and chilling. Ron says this is going to be interesting. And I said, yes, this is definitely going to be interesting. Let me just finish some things while you guys interact in the chat, and I'll be checking with you guys in. Shout out to G Money. He says, what's up? Layla's having a BBQ day. That's what's up. Let me know that. Let me send me an invite, even if it has to be virtually. It's all good. Shout out to Joel who also says he's grilling. That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, at least you guys have something going on, man. Through everything that's going on, got to try to enjoy it somehow, right? So we're gonna get to the Miami Heat in a second, but I want to break down each individual player to see how these guys came together. Obviously, everybody knows what's going on, but obviously I had to put this in, and this is stemming from one Mr. Paul Pierce. This is where this comes from and why he's getting a lot of backlash. Some part I agree with the backlash, and then in some part I don't because of the way he kind of went up about it, right? All right, so we're getting ready. Just give me a second, guys, and we're gonna get right into this. Hope everybody's doing great in the chat. Like I said, I hope you guys can hear me. Layla says she'll send a virtual invite. You better have that salsa music playing in the background, heard? Because it ain't a cookout without Spanish music. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, people who listen to their type of music, whether it's hip hop, trap, as long as you got a lit cookout, that's all I care about. And if you got the storytelling on top of that, oh, it's even more lit on Memorial Day. Usually on Memorial Days, I usually try to it's either I go bike riding. If someone is doing a cookout, I'll go. I try to exercise, be outside. I don't do much unless there's something like really, really cool going on. As long as I could skip work the next day, it's all good. I don't mind staying up. So, all right, so we're gonna get started. All right, let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, with this video. Again, smash the like button and make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe for the Lewis Sports Network. Okay. The Miami Heat, known as the Heatles. As you see in the thumbnail, you got LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and D Weezy and Dwayne Wade. Three players that were pretty much in their prime of their career coming together to play for the Miami Heat. Now you got to ask yourself, Lewis, how did this all come about? Let's go all the way back to the 2003 NBA draft. With the number one pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James out of St. Vincent St. Mary. Okay, get that out the way. With the number 4 pick in the NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Chris Bosh out of Georgia Tech. That's 2. Notice, Braun 1, Bosh 4. And by the way, Freddie, I love them rings. Shout out to Jordan who says, let's get started. Then you got the number 5 pick from Chicago, went to school in Wisconsin and Marquette. With the number 5 pick in the NBA draft, the Miami Heat select D. Weezy Dwayne Wade. Chris Bosh, 6'10". LeBron James, 6'8", weighed 240 at the time of the draft. Dwayne Wade, 6'4", 200, 210 pounds around there, right? Okay. What were these three's careers like before up to this point? LeBron James. If you look at LeBron's career up to 2010, what did the man accomplish? He made an all-star team every single year from 2005 to 2010 with the exception of his rookie year. So that means he made 6 all-star teams, correct? Yeah, 6 all-star teams. So he was a 6-time all-star. Okay, Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was also a 6-time all-star by the time that he went into the all-star game. Chris Bosh, on the other hand, was a 5-time all-star because his first all-star appearance was in 2006. And he went from 06 to 010. LeBron James, 6 all-time all-star. We're talking about LeBron. So again, shout out to Caden. If you guys haven't, if you're into Atlanta Falcons football, if you're into Atlanta Hawks basketball, make sure y'all go subscribe to Caden Alvis's channel. All right, so getting back to this. Back to the Heat. We're talking about LeBron, Dwayne, and Chris Bosh. All right, so obviously they're both. So what you notice about that? Number 1, number 4, and number 5 picks. 3 players in the top 5 team up together. But then again, how does this come about, right? LeBron James is with Cleveland, is with them for 7 years. Dwayne Wade, up to the point, has played 7 years with the Miami Heat. And then Chris Bosh has played 7 years with the Toronto Raptors. And like I said, Bosh is a 5-time All-Star. LeBron is a 6-time All-Star. Wade is a 6-time All-Star. Wade, all of them win Olympic gold medal together in Beijing in 2008. So this was a pre-planned team up. People don't think so, but it was a pre-planned team up. Here's the reason why. They just finished playing an Olympic gold together. If y'all remember, Dwayne Wade and LeBron were both, and Melo were on Team USA in 2004. Well, was Wade on there? No, I don't think Wade was on there, but I know Melo and LeBron were. And they came off a bronze medal in the Olympics. Argentina ended up winning the gold medal. And yes, Caden, they were a dynamic trio. That's correct. Lowly one's going not 1, not 2, not 3. Going back to the comment section. G Money, you jumped way too ahead, man. He's already going to 2014. We just talking about how this team came together. All right. So Dwayne made an All-NBA team. He was an All-Star. So was Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, even though they want to talk about the inconsistencies with the player efficiency rating, with the way that they use it with James Harden today, in a ways you could say with Giannis Antetokounmpo and somewhat. Chris Bosh was in the top 5 in PER. Same thing with Dwayne Wade. Both of those guys were in the top 4 in PER in 2010. I believe LeBron was number 1. So think about this, guys. They won gold medal together in Beijing in 2008. They were all in the top 5, and they were all in the top 4 in PER. As a matter of fact, Chris Bosh was 4th. You look at Chris Bosh, he averaged 20 and 10 the last 2 seasons. But some people like to prefer as Chris Bosh as a scrub. Then you got to go this as well, man. And G Money's already going in already. It's crazy. Um, Freddie's like, oh, we know that you hated them. Okay, so LeBron ends up losing to the goes to the playoffs. If you look at his career, made the NBA Finals, something that nor Wade nor Bosh was able to do. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Wade won Finals MVP in 2006. LeBron was able to carry his team next year in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs to take them to the NBA Finals in 2007, losing to San Antonio, obviously, in 4-0. Wade comes back from 0-2 against the Dallas Mavericks in 2006 and wins the NBA Finals on 4 straight and wins Finals MVP. Chris Bosh takes his team to the playoffs, but they don't really have any playoff success. They lose back-to-back playoff appearances to the New Jersey Nets in the first round and then to the Orlando Magic the very next year in 2008. Okay? Smash that like and keep hitting that subscribe. They were all in the top. They were all top 4. It was top 4 because I believe Wade was 3rd, Bosh was 4th, and LeBron was number 1 in the league. So I just mentioned Olympic gold together. They were top in the league in PER. When people factor in all of that, let's see. Chris Bosh fails to make the playoffs with the Heat. Not with the Heat, with the Raptors. Dwayne Wade. Oh, so this narrative that the Miami Heat were not a playoff team before LeBron got there is completely false because it was in 2008 when Pat Riley decided to disassemble the team. Dwayne Wade's Heat won only 15 games, and Dwayne Wade had an injury-plagued season, right? Oh, no, Freddie. Other people would have you think otherwise, which is why people really need to stop. Now, getting back to what I was saying, Wade made the playoffs in both 2009 and 2010. What a lot of fans have been saying is that LeBron helped lead the Heat to the playoffs when they didn't make the playoffs the previous 2 years, which is not true. If you look at LeBron James, LeBron came off of, if you look at his run from 2006 to 2010, you had 2 second-round trips, you had 2 conference finals trips in 2009 and 2007, and in 2007 he went to the NBA Finals in just his 4th season, right? And so obviously that they lose, right? Yeah, Bosh looks like a dinosaur, man. Bosh was definitely a beast, and he was beasting in Toronto, but he does look like a dinosaur. It's it's the truth. All right. So now we continue. So D Wade loses in the first round to the Boston Celtics. Before that, he lost in the first round in 7 games to the Atlanta Hawks in 2009. Which you can make the case that D Wade could have possibly been MVP in 2009, but at that time, remember, we have to also consider that if you were a top 2 seed in the conference, you would get the MVP, which LeBron was back-to-back years in 2009 and 2010. But, so here's the thing. Obviously, everybody knows what happened. Everybody knows what happened. LeBron lost in 6 games to Orlando in 2009. 2008 goes 7 with Boston. He loses 06, loses in 7 to Detroit. To the Magic, he loses in 6. And then in 2010, after having a 2-1 lead in that series, he loses the last 3 games. The thing with LeBron is then his owner accused him of quitting, which I thought was crazy. That's kind of tough. Shout out to Anthony L. Appreciate it. Shout out to Jay. Bosh needed a D Wade or a LeBron type to play with him. Better as a second option. Kind of got lost as a third option, but had great range on the shot. Of course. And like I said, shout out to everybody. Make sure you smash the like and continue to hit that subscribe for the Louis Sports Network. So getting back on that. So D Wade and LeBron both lose to the same team, the Boston Celtics. D Wade in the first round, LeBron in the second round in 2010. Right. So all these rumors start to swell. People accuse LeBron of quitting the last 3 games against, Boston. He has a 27-point triple double. People forget how lack of aggressiveness that he showed in Game 5, where he only took 11. I think it was 15 shots, and he was 4-15 or whatever. But he really wasn't aggressive or anything like that. And people accuse him that they thought he quit. All right, so then comes the off season, and it's like, what are you gonna do? There were a lot of teams that were like eyeing these players. There was rumors that they could have possibly went to Chicago. Wade would have went to Chicago to team up with Derrick Rose. LeBron could have possibly went to the Knicks, but I knew that wasn't gonna happen. Uh, there was the New Jersey Nets at the time before they became Brooklyn. Bosh was somebody who was kind of gonna make his decision depending on what LeBron was gonna do, and he put that out on Twitter back in 2010. So Dwayne Wade is basically, LeBron had already said that he had been trying to recruit people from his time in Cleveland. It just wasn't working. He kind of told that to Rachel Nichols. He told that to her. So that happened. Then comes the decision, the 1 hour decision made by ESPN with LeBron James. And LeBron decides on national television for 1 hour, he decides to say that he's going to take his talents to South Beach. Now, here's why this is important, folks. The people in Cleveland who LeBron helped reestablish, put back on the map, the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had the Cleveland Cavaliers put them back on the map. LeBron put the Cavaliers back on the map. No question about it. I thought that the owner coming at LeBron like that, writing a letter publicly instead of talking to LeBron behind closed doors, was a little bit disrespectful and classless on the part of the owner. Uh, then when LeBron decided to make his decision, how the fans of Cleveland were irate. And this is where I'm looking at it and just like they decided to burn his jerseys. I mean, they took down all of his billboards in Cleveland. They used his first 2 letters of his name, and they thought of every possible derogatory word to say to LeBron James. And everybody remembers it from the moment that he stepped back onto Cleveland on that first floor. Okay, LeBron decides to take his talents to South Beach. He gives all of his reasonings why it's going to be so much easier. We don't have to worry about guys taking the last shot. It takes a lot of pressure off of people. This is what LeBron was saying at the time of the press conference, right? Like I said, salute to the chat. Tyrese says the reason I say D Wade was better than LeBron up until 2013 was because some people said that D Wade was better than Kobe in 06, 08. Well, remember, there's arguments of saying that peak wise, in terms of peak value, some people say that Dwayne Wade was better than Kobe. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with that, including Kobe Bryant's most hardest fans. But some people do believe that from peak to peak value for like a little bit of a short stretch, Dwayne Wade was just as good as Kobe Bryant. Kobe was just able to do it for a little bit of longer periods of time. But D Wade was able to put up some really nice stats, though. Even with no MVPs to whatever Braun had in 2013, D Wade was better than Braun. He says that's odd. Layla says, and don't forget, Braun was gloating like a mother. That's why people wanted them to lose. The F? Look, what kind of photo is that? Are you trying to seduce us? I'm grubbing real quick, still watching y'all. Jordan says, Freddie G, who are these people? All right. D-Wade was great during that time. Kobe should be watched again during that time period, though. Yeah, you really kind of have to watch him during that time period. So getting back on this. So remember, as soon as these guys got together, people automatically thought NBA championship. This team became the most hated NBA team for one season in NBA history. Like people don't understand the amount of hate that this group got when they came. It was crazy. It was unbelievable. Lonely One says, I'm willing to bet that happened. I wonder what made the owner write that public letter addressing LBJ like that. I don't advocate that, but how mad was he at LBJ? He was really mad. He was really mad, folks. D-Wade was arguably better than Kobe, and he played with some trash down in South Beach. And that's what I want people to understand. That's why I don't like the fact when people say that, oh, LeBron, they weren't a playoff team before LeBron got there. And it's like, I feel like some people just don't watch basketball because they love LeBron too much that they'll just mention stuff like that. Do your research, people. Wade made the playoffs 2 years prior before LeBron. See, then they're going to say, oh, did Wade win the title between those years? I said, no, but he did have a championship before LeBron did. I mean, okay, he was with Shaq and they had a different crew, but he had a championship is the bottom line. So people just can't come and say that. Obviously, Wade did not have the team that he once had in 06, 05, 06, and 07 before the team had a lot of injuries. But you know, Wade was able to carry them to the playoffs. Back to back years. They just ran into the Atlanta Hawks, who LeBron's Cavaliers beat in a 4-game sweep in the 2009 playoffs, and LeBron was the regular season MVP that season. And and then in 2010, when LeBron's Cavs won 61 games, the year prior 66 games, LeBron won MVP again. And remember that the Cavaliers were picked as favorites to at least get to the NBA Finals, and obviously he failed. All right, so 2011, they have this crazy season. Uh, Layla says Lewis, he did quit that last finals, his first time in Cleveland. First time I saw a superstar quit in front of my eyes, it scared me. I hate the owner, but he was right. Well, this was not the NBA Finals. This was the 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals. Because remember, his only NBA Finals appearance up to that point in Cleveland was in 2007, not in 2010. I love D Wade, but he will tell you he doesn't belong in that group. I don't know, brother. You tell me. D Wade was arguably better than LeBron from 2006 to 2008. Not a knock on Braun, but D Wade was an assassin. Like I said, I feel like LeBron was coming up. Clay Pro says more hate than the Rockets. Yeah, no, the Houston Rockets, they don't compare to what Miami Heat got. Just watch the document. There's a documentary on YouTube called the 2010-2011 Miami Heat. I urge you, if you have not seen it, type it in. That will tell you what the 2011 season was like for the Miami Heat. What it was like. He quit in Game 6 in Boston as well. Well, you see, they'll tell you he didn't because he had a triple-double, but you need to do the eye test. The most hated team was the 2017 Warriors. Nah. And Wade won a chip before it got there. They keep neglecting to mention that. They don't mention that. You can make a case, Weiss. More say KD ruined the NBA by joining, but the big three Heat were scrutinized, and rightfully so. It was for real. I wish I could take a pic of this salad. The lowly one has one of the greatest playoff runs ever. 06 Wade was the Tasmanian devil. Yes, he was. D Wade had a squad in 06. Shaq, Peyton, Walker, J. Will. It was a veteran team, good enough to compete for a chip with a declining Shaq and a budding star in Wade. I felt that team was hot at the right time. Kenneth Wright was like Kirk Hamrick. Anybody? G Money. He didn't ruin the NBA, but he made the best decision possible. The Wade squad was a lot of old, aging veterans, which is true. Everyone chose the Mavs to knock off the Heat when they were up 2-0. Miami was good, but that was an older team. Yeah, to me, what I was really surprised about that '06 Heat team was knocking out the Detroit Pistons the way they did. But I felt that '06 Detroit team was in trouble when LeBron and the Cavs pushed them to 7 games. And LeBron, this was 21-year-old LeBron James, pushed the Detroit Pistons to 6 games, 7 games in '06, and Miami just destroyed the Pistons in that Eastern Conference Finals. Shout out to Anthony Warren in the building. Like I said, appreciate it. He says Wade was more of a facilitator than Kobe, but not by much. Wade 09-10 playoffs, 33 points, 6.8 assists, 5.6 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, 1.6 steals. LeBron joined a straight beast. But people want to neglect that. They just look at the end results, but don't understand what they were joining at the time. Bosh, 5-time All-Star, fourth in PER in 2010, averaged 24 and 10 on 51% shooting before he joined with LeBron James. LeBron James just had a 50% field goal shooting season in 2010. First time he shot 50% in his career. Uh, he averages what 27 a game, about close to 7 assists and 7 rebounds. Wins the MVP. Wade, they win gold together. So like when you consider all that in those multiple All-Star appearances, y'all got to understand the type of expectations that they, were given. So this team was expected to not only win 70 games, but they were expected to win the NBA championship. That's the expectations that they use, man. That's what they use, right? All right. Keep going. Let me see as I'm mentioning, excuse me. So Mario Chalmers and Chris Bosh, they took a lot of blame when they failed. All right. So the 2011 season, let's look that up, baby up. If you look at the roster at that time, um, so the roster consisted of Mike Bibby, Carlos Arroyo, Joel Anthony, Eric Dampier, Mario Chalmers, Haslam, Eddie House, Jawan Howard, Zajunas Ilgauskas, LeBron James, James Jones, Jamal McGlure, Mike Miller, Dexter Pittman, and Jerry Stackhouse was on his team, and Dwayne Wade, but obviously with Chris Bosh. So Chris Bosh was born in '84. He was 26 at the time. LeBron James was 25 because his birthday was in December of that same year, and Dwayne Wade was 29. His birthday was on the 17th of '82. So you got 3 players before the age of 30 teaming up. Never had there been a modern prime super team. People just go to the Boston Celtics. That was an older team, and the front office was the one pulling the strings. These guys pulled the strings as free agents. And the thing is that people don't want to understand is Carmelo Anthony was originally the person that was supposed to join the big three, not Chris Bosh. It's because Anthony was kind of naive and he decided to get traded to the New York Knicks and help, along with James Dolan, tell Donnie Walsh to force the trade to get Melo out of Denver to go to New York. So remember then, he said, "Why are you leaving out Birdman?" Birdman wasn't on the team until 2013. In 2006, we were shocked that Miami came back from 2-1 to the Mavs and carried them to the win while the Mavs were expected to win. The Mavs were the favorites. Why are you leaving out Birdman? Birdman came after. What's the documentary title? Did you say Heat? Type in Miami Heat 2010-2011 season. I used to like Mario Chalmers at KU, but he was garbage in the NBA. Dude was shooting less than 40% from the field and didn't shoot great from three either. We says LeBron leaving Cleveland and Bosh leaving Toronto at that time was worse for the league than KD joining the Warriors because they instantly eliminated 2 playoff teams. The Thunder are still a playoff team. Never looked at it that way. That's that's a very interesting way to put it. I'm saying that Miami had no business knocking out Dallas after trailing 2-0. Mavs choked away games 3, 5, and 6. I mentioned nothing about the Jazz. Hey, Arroyo, Puerto Rican blood. You said that the Heat was old, as if that's a negative. Mario Chalmers was decent in the Big Three Heat era, but I admit he didn't have a great career. LeBron has too many iffy moments. Of course, the expectation was high. You got 3 of the best players in the NBA in their prime, and it was unheard of. It was unheard of. We were all waiting on Chalmers to break out because wasn't Chalmers a high draft pick, if I remember correctly, or he was in the top 20, I believe, or was it top 15? I don't remember. But he was in that same 2008 draft with Derrick Rose and Michael Beasley, who both went 1 and 2 in that draft, by the way. Please try not to bring up the OKC Thunder. Oh, you mean of 2012? I might just skip through that. I might make it quick and less painful. Uh, GS had no business of beating OKC up 3-1. We all live with that. Okay, so getting back, LeBron had promised to the media not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Y'all know the drill. 7 NBA championships. They was having a real party in Miami. I think that the big 3 were really feeling themselves, especially LeBron James. So he knew that this is the opportunity to win an NBA title. And this was at this point, everybody was in their 8th season, right? Um, so Freddie G's already talking about the old ass Jazz to the old ass Heat. The Thunder are one of the worst franchises in NBA history. They had a lot of success, but their decision making begs the question as to why they didn't win a title, along with injuries. Okay, Mario was a second round pick. That figures. That was going to be my next guess. Miami did earn the 2012 chip, but OKC did blow games 2, 3, and 4 due to bad execution. To be honest with you, we don't know what game 2 would have been like, but let's not jump ahead real quick. Let's focus on the 2011 season. All right, so the 2011 season, Miami got off to a 9-8 start. There was rumors that LeBron was trying to get Eric Spoelstra fired. This is nothing new. Pat Riley nipped it in the butt, and LeBron kind of told him, "Don't you have that kind of itch feeling again to become a head coach?" Uh, Pat Riley said, "No, we're sticking with Eric Spoelstra. You know, he's our guy." Even D Wade had to tell LeBron to trust him. So Miami goes on a run where they win 22 out of 23 games. And the funny thing is, the streak started when LeBron went back to Cleveland. Everybody knows the amount of boos and the amount of hate LeBron got when he came back to Cleveland. This is why I'm going to get mad at LeBron a little bit when we go to 2014. But let's stick on 2011. So LeBron has this crazy game. He has 38 points, shot the lights out, made all of the Cleveland people who was hating on him turn to silent, right? They turned silent, quiet. LeBron was kind of talking back and forth with some of his former teammates. That's the problem. Thanks, man. I think that this is very important when debating that point. True. Anthony Moore makes good points. I have never mentioned the gadget just at any point. Everybody can't execute. OKC Thunder is the dumbest franchise in history, of all sports. They actually allowed Ray Allen to leave in 2007. Well, they did. 2006, man. LBJ's fourth quarters. Okay, everybody knows it. All right. So, like I said, the Miami Heat were having, they started off slow. They end up having a pretty solid regular season. They did underachieve, though, because they did have a couple of losing streaks here and there. So here is their record. They go 58-24. Pat Riley's the executive. They average 102 points per game, which was a top 10 in the league. They were 8th in the NBA. They were 6th in the league in opponents' points in the NBA. They were ranked to be the best team out of 30 teams that season. They were 3rd in offensive rating, and they were 5th in defensive rating. So, according to Basketball Reference, they were predicted to win 61 games, but most analytics had them winning close to 70. That's the expectations they put on the Heat. So they were 5th in defensive rating, 6th in opponents' points per game. The crazy part is, with a fast break tandem of LeBron and D Wade, the Heat were 20th in pace, so they were not that fast, which tells you that they were playing half court. So you have, and if you look at the seasons, look at this. Dwayne Wade averaged 25.5 points per game. He played 76 games that season. He shot 50% from the field, shot 75% from the free throw line. He averaged 25.5 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, and 4.6 assists a game, 1.5 steals, and 1.1 blocks. That's crazy. And he shot 50% from the field. LeBron James played 79 games that season. He averaged 26.7 points per game, 7 assists, 7.5 rebounds on 51% shooting, 33% from three-point range, and he shot 75.9% from the free throw line to go along with 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.6 steals, and 0.6 blocks. And then Chris Bosh, who played 77 games that year, he had to sacrifice the most because he became the third option. And he went from 24 a game down to 18.7. People understand that Bosh's role had changed. He averaged 8.3 rebounds, almost a steal, a little over a half a block. So 18 and 8. He shot 49.6% from the field, and he shot 81% up from the free throw line. The best three-point shooter they had at least one. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 6 guys on the Heat that shot at least 36% or better on their team. So they were 8th in the league in points, right? Again, keep smashing the like and keep hitting the subscribe. And let me just go into the comments real quick. Says I might have it wrong. They also let Harden get 6th man of the year, right? Bron is the go when he loses. You don't lose that title. Someone has to take it. Just imagine if they would have surrendered $4 million and paid the luxury tax. What do the pros think about Billy Donovan? The GOAT can't execute. He learned from that moment. Nobody's perfect. LeBron is an all-time great, but when you need 2 extra all-stars and depth just to win a championship and lose more than you win, does that not qualify you as a top 5 player of all time? What do you guys think in the chat? Jordan asked KD when he slipped up and forgot he wasn't on his burner. Oh, yo, facts. Good point, Weiss. G Money says many people think that the Heat would break the Bulls 72-10 record. That's what people were saying during that season. The amount of talent that they had, like the 2016 Warriors, broke the record. Nah, just honest opinion. I don't care. The Heat were not deep, top heavy, but not deep. Very top heavy. OKC front office has always been selfish. Main reason why they shipped Harden to Houston. Also, Freddie Gee, what year were they top heavy? Freddie Gee, that Heat team was deep. Which team are you talking about? Shout out to Pookie Man 12. Appreciate you, man. Make sure to smash the like, and for everybody, make sure to hit that subscribe, and make sure you guys are sharing this on your social media outlets and including our Reddit. Louis Sports Network talking about the Miami Heat and why they underachieved. What's good, Louis, and everybody else in the chat? Quick point on this 2010-2011 year. LeBron played the villain role that year. It wasn't a really good look for him. And that's what I said about LeBron, because LeBron was known as, and that's a good point that you bring up, Pookie Man, because LeBron was known as a guy who was an outgoing guy, but then he decided to be a villain this season. So he decided to take that role because he was receiving a lot of hate from a lot of people around the league, especially people from Cleveland who thought that he pretty much quit on them and took the easy way out to win championships, which is really weird. And this is why I'm going to kind of low-key expose those Cleveland fans in later on. Let's see. Ever since Brown left Cleveland the first time, he's had 2 heavy teams except his first year in LA. The Heat had 3 players who played in the All-Star game that year. They lost to an older, undermanned Dallas team, even though Miami had the better supporting cast, averaging 70-plus points. So if you look at the averages of Wade, LeBron, and Bosh, actually, yeah, if they round out to 70, they round out to 70 a game combined. He said, "Goats to be taken. GOAT has to be taken. Then I guess somebody has to take MJ's GOAT status, which hasn't happened." Flops GOAT still knew that when he doesn't deliver, the excuses rain like a mother. All right, so getting back to the Miami Heat. Again, smash the like button, hit the subscribe. If you guys would like to donate, there it is. And there's D Wade. And actually, this thumbnail right here is an exemplary of what they were talking about when it came to the Last Dance and it came to the GOAT status. So that's what that's about. Again, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. But getting back on this, right? Okay, Rashard Lewis, James Jones, Birdman, Haslam, Anthony, Battier, Chalmers, Cole, Mike Miller are all spot-up shooters, no playmakers. 39-year-old Ray Allen was the only bench player that could create. G Money, big time Layla. Brown fans are like excuse-making machines. What the F? I just read that the Thunder are thinking about signing Billy Donovan. It has to be some type of weird something going on. Do y'all think Billy Donovan should be resigned to the Thunder, or the Thunder need to go and get a new head coach? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so the Heat won 58 games. They're 58-24. That puts them second in the East behind the Chicago Bulls. They had the best record at 62-20. Derrick Rose is the MVP, but people say that LeBron deserved the MVP award, and I can't. And the thing was, LeBron didn't get it because of the players he played with. Derrick Rose did more with less that year. LeBron had the better numbers and shot better from the field, but Derrick Rose had to do a lot more, and that's considering that both Carlos Boozer missed 23 games and Joakim Noah missed 34 games that season. They were ranked third. The Heat had the third best record in the league. So when I hear LeBron says that he was very surprised on how they got to the finals, that's full of baloney. Because if you look at the matchups, they faced the 41 and 41 Philadelphia 76ers team that they easily dispatched up in 5 games. Uh, Game 4 was very competitive. Games 3 and 4 were competitive, but the Heat had a 3-0 lead in that series. They win in 5. Then they faced Wade and LeBron faced their arch nemesis, their rival, the Boston Celtics, who knocked both LeBron and D Wade out in 2010. So LeBron starts to show killer instinct in game, I would say in game 5. LeBron was a monster. He had 33 points. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he scored, I think the Heat, 14 of the last Heat 16 points, if I'm not mistaken. And when he did that, he was starting to look like a killer. He was looking like a clutch player, in those playoffs. And shout out to Jordan. He says, anyone remember how much hate Boston gave Allen? Yep. Oh, I got to get into that as well. They fired Scott Brooks for less, but when OKC squandered a 3-1 lead, Billy Donovan was still there. Billy needs to get out of the league. If LeBron is the GOAT, how come he never wins any polls? Freddie says, no post players other than Chris Bosh, no playmakers or facilitators other than D Wade or Bron. How in the world is that depth? Someone explain to me from a basketball standpoint. Well, remember, it's how you build your team around a player's play style. Remember that as well. And you have to ask yourself, who in that time period would you think would have been a nice playmaker with LeBron and D Wade? During that time period, let's say 2011 to 2014. Let's put your thinking caps on. Okay, so 2011 playoffs continue. The Celtics, after making the finals in 2 out of the previous 3 seasons, the Heat knocked them off in the playoffs in 5. LeBron has an emotional moment. Then they face the number 1 team in the league, the Chicago Bulls. Actually, the Spurs had the second best record that year with 61 wins, but they got upset by Memphis in 6. So we go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Bulls win game 1. Then the Heat make the adjustment. Derrick Rose gets shut down. LeBron and Wade take turns guarding him. But according to everybody else, they said LeBron shut down Rose. But it is a lot easier when you have an all-out defender like Dwayne Wade. And Chris Bosh was a pretty good defender himself, even though he was guarding the bigs mostly. But my point is, and dealing with Noah and Boozer. But my point is, the Heat won 4 straight, and they knocked off Chicago in 5 games. So the Heat get to the NBA Finals. Now let's look at the Dallas Mavericks. They beat, who did they beat? The Portland Trailblazers in the first round in 6. Then they go up against the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. We know what the narrative is with Kobe. They knocked off those were a very good team. But that's the narrative that they have been using when it came to LeBron's loss in the 2011 NBA Finals. They go right to Kobe Bryant and say how the Mavs swept Kobe. If you look at the Lakers compared to the Dallas Mavericks, the Lakers should have used their inside game. At that point, the Lakers had no bench. Kobe really didn't play great in that series. And if we really honestly look at it, I knew the Lakers were going to lose. After they blew a double-digit lead in game 1, and Dallas blew them out in game 2, and then the Lakers having a double-digit lead in game 3 and blew that, I said the Lakers are not winning the series. They swept them so badly that Andrew Bynum did a nice little hit. Lou, that's why I always say that the teams were built around Braun and whoever his second playmaking star was. Again, guys, smash the like and the subscribe. Shout out to Tomoko for the 28th like. All right, let's continue to hit the subscribe button. Exactly. This is the point. Jay says spot-up shooters are what thrives in the LeBron system. That's why the team's pitfall after he leaves. No creators means lottery team. Only if LeBron could play off the ball or in a non-LeBron system. That is more than 22 games missed. It's actually 27. Shout out to Watchful News. Yeah, Brian said it. Let's be a little more respectful. True, Freddie. So the Dallas Mavericks, they were definitely a good team. That's a very interesting point right there that Anthony said. Wade is your Hall of Famer top 3 shooting guard that could give you 5 to 6 assists when it comes to playmaking. This is why I said a system is important, because the hockey assist, Bosh, even though Bosh could post up, the problem is Bosh is more effective when LeBron is not in the game. He's more spot up. And then when he goes one-on-one, he's really more so on the face-up. Bosh can post up, but he was more of a face-up player than he was a post-up player. And then LeBron is obviously doing the playmaking himself right there. Okay, so Dallas beats the Lakers, the defending champs. They beat the Thunder, the young Thunder, in 5 games with KD, Russ, and Harden. Oh, you know it's going to be like that. Shout out to Washington News in the building. The Lakers and the Heat in 2011 don't add up. LeBron is a high-powered complementary player. Ooh, wow. Damn. All right, so continuing. If Bron and Wade or Kyrie is not on the court, who runs the offense, man? You name them off. Tomoko says, hey, Louis, remember your live stream with D and I predicted the outcome of the game based on the facial expressions of the players on the video's thumbnail, and I predicted it accurately? Yes, I did. I don't remember what live stream was that, but LeBron needs the ball in his hands to be the most dangerous. I mean, that's how it's been with LeBron his whole career. You know, 3 all-time great players. All right, so we get to the 2011 NBA Finals. And where is, let's see. No, let me see. Let me just see if I can find that thumbnail. That's not it. Let's see this one. Keep smashing the like and keep hitting that subscribe. That's not it. Let's see. Let's try this one. Can this be it? No, that's not it neither. Let's try the next one. Could this be it? Nope, it's not that one. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Here we go. No, that wasn't it. I just clicked that one. Is it this one? Close. Now we just need one more. And let's see if it's this one. Nope, that's the Heat. Oh, I think it's this one. Okay, so now we go here. 2011 NBA Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Miami Heat. Miami Heat win game 1. Game 2, they led 88-73. They blew a 15-point lead, and Dallas went on a 22-5 run to win that game, tied at 1. Chris Bosh hits the go-ahead jump shot in game 3 and gives Miami a 2-1 lead. We know what happened in those finals. Game 4, everybody knows what that. Really? Like I said, when it comes to career, LeBron obviously has the better career. Bron's way is I'll win with 2 other great players and scrubs. I heard someone say that Bron should play off the ball. Who wants a 6'8", 270-pound dude running off the screens? Well, Freddie doesn't. That's a given. Freddie doesn't. The thing is, it goes back to what Kobe was saying, though. It's kind of strange that LeBron was not in the post a lot more, considering that he's a perimeter player, but what he does is drive. So he doesn't really post up as much. Game 4, LeBron has those historic 8 points, no points in the fourth. He gets outplayed by, Jason Terry, JJ Barea, fifth highest NBA final scoring average at 17.8 at 47%. Was tied with Udonis Haslem and Mario Chalmers for points in the fourth quarter. He averaged 3 in that series. LeBron's fourth quarter points total were 18, so that's 3 a game. Dwayne Wade's was 44, which puts it at I believe it was 7.3. Actually, no. It was 6 point. Wait, in 6 games. Oh yeah, no, it was 7.3. And Dirk Nowitzki had 62 points in the fourth quarter total throughout the 6 games. So when you average that, that's 10.3 points per game in the fourth quarter. Chris Bosh averaged 5. Jason Terry averaged 5.8. So my question is, how can you be tied with 2 role players on your own team? That's number one. And then number 2, how is it that an opposing player that's a bench player also outscore you? That hurt. Dallas beat them in 6. And then it was crazy after the game. The media was asking LeBron, how do you take back this season now that and he said, everybody was wishing for me to fail. Everybody's got to go back to their typical 9-to-5 job and live the lives that they're currently living. So it is what it is. I know the chat is going crazy right now. And they're saying who Durant is better. Who else is that big and heavy running off screens? LeBron's best is facing up and driving to the cup. He's not the most creative with his footwork on the block. Play to your strengths, not weaknesses. Shout out to Mahari Nation. Appreciate it, man. If you guys haven't, make sure y'all go subscribe to Mahari Nation Sports Podcast on his channel. The guy has great content, and he's on the come up, man. So make sure you guys show the brother love, man, and make sure y'all go subscribe to Mahari. Brother's got great content, man, and he's continuing to grow with his subscribers, man. So go show him some love. Truly appreciate Mahari coming through. He says he agreed heavily, man. The big 3 should have four-peated, but lacked the dedication and commitment to go for it. As a matter of fact, I'll get to 2014 in a second. But shout out to Mahari. And make sure y'all go subscribe to Mahari Sports. Listen, that series should have been a 4-game sweep. LeBron's not 6'8" lies. LeBron is 6'10" or 11. He just tells the NBA to stay. He's 6'8" so he could play point guard. Low-key Magic Johnson. All right, so they don't achieve anything in 2011. LeBron's getting a lot of hate. People were wishing the hate. Cleveland fans were rejoicing and happy that LeBron failed. So LeBron says he wasn't having fun at basketball anymore. Then comes that conversation during the summer, and Wade basically takes a step back and tells him that, we need in order for us to get where we need to go, you have to take the keys and become the guy. It shows you the leadership of Dwayne Wade to be able to tell LeBron that he needs to become the guy, take the keys, and basically, like I said, man, pretty much take over and make this your team. So LeBron does that. I know part of it, LeBron was not trying to step on toes. I do understand a little bit of that. But when you kind of call yourself, well, he didn't call himself the best at that time, but he was really feeling himself, man, at that time. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys have been great. LeBron should have played in the system. It doesn't really have to involve him coming off of screens and none of that because LeBron's not a shooter. So, yeah, we know that. They did. It said seen him in person twice. That's what's up. Usually the tallest guy on the team. Coach don't punch black boys and break the hand after game 1 loss. I get confused with people saying that he should play off the ball. He's a perimeter player, not a front court player. I don't want Bron depending on someone to give him the ball. He can dribble. Okay. But wait a minute. That doesn't – no way that they should have lost to the Mavs. To me, this loss is worse than the Kobe's loss in 04 to the Pistons. Listen, Kobe's loss was pretty bad against Detroit. It was bad. It was bad. But it's not. But the thing is with LeBron, the reason that his is more worse is because of the fact that he was the favorite. I mean, Kobe was the favorites too with the Lakers, obviously. But the thing was is that LeBron, Wade, and Bosh came together in the offseason. And I told you all the stats, guys. Olympic gold, perennial All-Stars. LeBron was the back-to-back MVP. Bosh was a top he was a top 15 player. Dwayne was a top 3 player. They all came together. Each of them had made the playoffs. Wade won a championship before LeBron got there. Made the playoffs before LeBron got there. And they failed. They failed miserably. He did that in overtime. And Ron says LeBron's performance in 2011 is a blemish on his legacy that can't be lived down. The problem is, what I don't understand is why people are trying to push that down. You can't erase that. Great players, they do have mishaps. They do have mishaps. Of course, no great player you can tell me has ever played perfect. When I look at Jordan shot 41% against the damn Seattle Supersonics. That was Jordan's worst series. If you look at Jordan's second three-peat, he didn't shoot the ball that great, despite the fact that he was older. But no, it just doesn't work that way. And that's what people are saying in the comment section, and they salute to everybody in the comment section. Jay says, man, post and perimeter players both play off the ball. What? That's very true. He says, are you asking me, bashing, or are you talking the the chat? I give D-Wade props for stepping back. Curry wasn't about to do that. And if you listen to Draymond, he actually said it was a glaring problem, and Curry and Clay wasn't going to, but they should have. LeBron James is clearly modern day Hakeem Olajuwon, but he wants to play point and compete against midgets like Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry. You can't even say Hakeem, man. All right, let's go to the 2012 Heat. Since it was a wash, they were expected to win a lot. All right, let's go to the 2012 season for the Miami Heat. They finished first in the NBA in the Southeast Division. They were 46-20. They averaged 98.5 points per game. They were fourth in the league in opponents' points per game. They were fourth in defensive rating. They were predicted to go 47-19, so they finished 1 win off. They were eighth in offensive rating, 7th points per game. It looks like they made a little more commitment to defense because they were fourth. Their pace had gone up a little bit, 16 out of 30. Okay, now if you look at their playoff opponents, let's see. First round, they faced the Knicks, beat them easy. They squashed them in 5 games. That was just easy. that was too easy. Let's see. After they beat the Knicks, they went to the second round against the Indiana Pacers. They beat the Pacers despite trailing 2-1 in that series. I know Bron and Wade, I think they were the only set of teammates to have a pair of 40-point games. No, a pair of 40-point games. I believe both of them almost nearly accomplished triple doubles in that game 4 against the Pacers, if I'm not mistaken. Again, keep smashing that like and keep hitting that subscribe for the Louis Sports Network. So, they have a great season. Jordan was way more all around than he gets credit for, but he was more valuable playing off the ball for his team, despite the fact that he had the ball in his hands. More like he can't, which is why his usage is so high. LeBron is nothing without the ball in his hands. I don't care how big he is. He's a big dude that doesn't depend on someone else giving him the ball because he's very good at no. Dribbling? No. Dribbling? Okay. Shout out to Ryan. Miami Heat were an overrated team. If they really took themselves seriously from the start, they would have hit their true fully potential, which was a part of the problem too. I felt like they were. Okay, so they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They face the Boston Celtics. Miami wins the first two games easy. Then Boston comes back and they win three straight. You're looking at the Heat and you're saying to yourself, damn, they're down 3-2. If they lose in Boston, I'm like, damn, they gave up the home court advantage. I'm like, if they lose this game, I'm like, yo, damn. The Miami Heat, people don't understand that if they would have lost in game six, they would have broken the big three. And then my question is, where do you think LeBron was going to go if they decided to keep him? If they what happens to Dwayne Wade and what happens to Chris Bosh? So that's why LeBron steps up, puts in one of the greatest all-time performances in NBA history, playoff history, 45 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. He passed the ball a little bit less, and he was in attack mode from the start. And when LeBron thinks about scoring in attack mode, LeBron is one bad dude. And the way that LeBron was doing it, I just said to myself, man, LeBron, I said, yo, this is scary. I said, if LeBron plays like this, The wings were very thin. Apart from LeBron and Batty, they had no depth in the wings position. Yeah, they were. That's where they were really thin at. Yeah, I would say they were thin on the wing position. I'm gonna say Braun is. I'm gonna say he's good. He's a good dribbler, but I'm not gonna say very good. Very good is kind of putting it too high for LeBron. I would say good. A good dribbler, but not great. G Money says some people say the Celtics Heat game two was rigged. There's a video on YouTube. Boston could have actually probably have won in five. Jay says again, Freddie, not what he meant. Brown was phenomenal in the game six, and he took the air out of the garden. Yeah, and then game seven, LeBron came for 31 points. They knock off the Boston Celtics, and that was pretty much the end of the Boston era in Beantown. From the rumors that we hear about Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo, which I will be doing a future video on, ladies and gentlemen. So continue to smash the like button and continue to hit the subscribe button for the Lewis Sports Network. We got 32 likes. We have 27 people watching. This is great. Hopefully people can get more subscribers already. So continue to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Clay Pro says dribblers, Allen Iverson, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Starberry. LeBron has the dribble skills of Draymond Green. Ooh. Ooh. All right, Mahari Nation says, shout out to Mahari again. He says LeBron James' weaknesses is he can't play off the ball. He wants to hold the ball and run everything. That ruins the flow of his offense. And if you notice what LeBron says, which is a good point, he says that he plays within the flow of the game. That's when he has the ball in his hands. Wait, Tyree, it says Mike and Kobe are top three. LeBron is number six. Who says Brown is six? And Mike and Kobe are top three. I don't know. You can't be the GOAT and your toupee comes off during an NBA game. Shout out to AD Anthony Davis for mentioning that. But LeBron was incredible in that Boston series. So big ups to LeBron James for stepping up the way he did. And the people forget that that was an elimination game, back-to-back elimination games. He averages 36 in the last two games. So LeBron was incredible. And much respect to LeBron and the Miami Heat for getting it done. So they go to the NBA Finals, ladies and gentlemen, in 2012. Again, we got 30 people watching, man. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the view count up. Again, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are having it lit out here like it's, on this Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to everybody. One problem LeBron has had when he was in his prime was he tends to think before acting, but now in his later years, second round return to the cast, he just attacked. No shade to Bron though. Okay, now we going into the 2012 NBA Finals. Them dudes go up against KD, K Dizzle, Kevin Durant, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Russ, James Harden, KD, the 2012 Finals. You're thinking to yourself, who was going to win this series? And I got to say this right now, man. The Oklahoma City Thunder were actually pulled as the favorites to win this series, but I felt that the Miami Heat were going to win because I said I don't think that he was going to be denied. He was going to be denied, though. I say they going now with usage rate now. James Harden averaged 5 points while playing 33 minutes a game in 2012. Are you talking about the finals? And he says that's the problem. It's always when but LeBron really lives up to those expectations. All right, so 2012 was the Miami Heat's coming out party, especially for LeBron James. LeBron wins that elusive title. They knock off they knock off OKC in 5 games. Mike had about 2 or 3 points. Nobody touched the ball more in the history of the NBA. Oh, Mike is head above. Oh, I think he said Mike is head above. I see. Because what if Kevin Garnett played point guard also? He probably would be a top 10 scorer also, just saying. No Tomoko unless we talk about shooting guards. The way LeBron plays, he can never play with a great point guard because he has to have the ball in his hands and everything has to run through LeBron. And we says yes in the finals. Got you. Okay. James, that was really known as the Trina series, especially with his little boat party in Miami, partying during the finals. OKC had chances to win games 2, 3, and 4, but they never executed down the stretch. Game 2 is people feel that they rigged that game for the Heat. That's what a lot of people have been saying. If you look at that foul call, there was no foul call on LeBron when he clearly fouled Kevin Durant. And at that point, it was a 2-point game. This was game 2 in OKC. And that's when, Miami was able to tie the series up. They were in games 3 and 4, but they ended up choking those. They didn't execute properly. Miami made the big plays down the stretch. Mario Chalmers was huge in that series. Dwayne Wade played well enough. LeBron had solid numbers in the series. I think he shot 47% in average. I believe it was something about like 26 or 28, 10 and 9, something like that. So, he was able to win the finals MVP. Miami Heat win their first NBA championship. And you're probably saying to yourself now, ladies and gentlemen, the way LeBron played in these 2012 playoffs, you're saying to yourself, maybe this might be the start of something, right? It's really a shaking my head thing when he wants to put himself in these pressurized games. For example, game 6 against the Celtics in 2018 finals, when he plays victim, but when in control of the series, he gets a lot of praise. All right, so we're going to 2013 now, ladies and gentlemen. And Anthony says, and this is where KD was in foul trouble early almost every game. And at the end of game 1, KD couldn't deal with LeBron. But we will never know. We don't know if OKC would have won, but all I'm saying is they get the opportunity, not guaranteeing a victory. And people forget OKC trailed both games by double digits. And like I said, shout out to Layla for the update. She said we got 33 likes. We got 28 people watching, man. We need to get the likes. We need to get the view count up. We need to get the subscribers up, man. And like I said, shout out to Mahari. Ron Cowan, Braun is a point forward. That's like saying the Bulls should have had Gary Payton besides Michael and Scotty. See, that's why we got to put respect on Carmelo's name. He's top 5 on the scoring list in power forward. I mean, he's number 2 all time. He's second all time. Not even top 5. I mean, the brother is second all time in most points scored in NBA history. Was the referee coming out party? D-Wade shot more free throws than the entire OKC team. Do y'all remember game 4 when Russell had 43 points? And for some inexplicable reason, this guy didn't get to the line enough, and he was getting hacked. But anyway, LeBron finally wins the NBA championship. He says it's about damn time, gets the finals MVP. LeBron wins the MVP that season, so he wins the MVP, championship, and finals MVP. LeBron goes on to the Olympics and wins a gold medal. And, he's feeling good about himself. Now you're looking at the Heat's chances to repeat. They're looking pretty good. So LeBron closes the 2012 lockout season with a championship. So congratulations to LeBron James. Big ups, big respect. whatever people may say, think, or feel. Now we go to the 2012-2013 season. This is where Ray Allen has the issues with Boston, ends up signing with the Miami Heat. Obviously, Rashard Lewis and Sean Battier. Rashard Lewis comes in. They already have Mike Miller, who hit 7 threes in that Game 5 against OKC in 2012. Shane Battier hit some huge threes in Oklahoma City. People forget those guys, but those guys deserve a lot of credit because they hit some really big three-point shots in that series. And Mario Chalmers had a coming-out party. I believe it was Game 4. So the funny thing is with the Miami Heat, you expect Bron to do his thing, but they were actually getting different contributions from a lot of guys in those 2012 finals. And people don't mention that. He says, but then he is blaming the refs. It's true. Why? I do wonder that question. My conspiracy is that Harden quit so he could have his own team. People started saying fear the beard for Harden after that series. KD averaged like 30 in the finals. Yeah, he did. Shot the ball very well. Yep, 55% shooting. But KD's issue was he struggled in the fourth quarter. KD did struggle in the fourth quarter of that series. LeBron was great in 2012, no question. OKC was better than the Heat 2012, but they didn't have the experience. OKC, you could possibly say they were younger for one, but not have the experience like when OKC was better. Western Conference Finals. How come people keep saying that the Lakers need a point guard? That's a very good question. If go watch Le Goat with Tyree, what it do, fam? Shane and Mike Miller was on fire. Yeah, they were. The Lakers need a dynamic ball handler. Shout out to Nathaniel in the building. Appreciate it. Again, smash the like, hit that subscribe, and make sure you guys share in the stream. The Lakers need another dynamic ball handler. They have Rajon and Bron. Come on, you see exactly what they need. Many times LeBron has been the undeniable best player on the court, but doesn't always display the confidence to take the biggest shots. No other player on anybody's top 10 has that issue. Very good point, Jay. Good point. What's up, buddy? Golden State have G-Money. Haven't forgotten about you, man. And Melo. All right. Anyway, so now we go to the 2013 season. Now let's switch thumbnails again. So now Miami's on top of the world. They're NBA champions. There's the big three. And, they're living their best life. 2013, they have a historic season. They win 66 games that season, ladies and gentlemen. And LeBron wins the MVP that season. And some people felt that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. If he would have did that, he would have matched Jordan as the only two. Actually, he would have matched Jordan and Hakeem as the only players in NBA history to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year award in the same season. And had LeBron won a championship, he would have been the first player since Hakeem to not only win the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, NBA championship, and Finals MVP in the same season. And remember, LeBron just came off of a gold medal in the 2012 Olympics in London. So LeBron is having himself a great 2 seasons, right? So LeBron averages 26 a game, 7.3 assists, 8 rebounds per game, 56.5% from the field, 40% from 3. Imagine if LeBron had at least about 80% of the line. It would have been nice, but he only shot 75%. Wade averages 21 a game this season, shoots 52%. Chris Bosh averages 16, and he shoots 53% from the field. Up to this point, 56.5 was the highest field goal percentage that LeBron had, that season, up to that point. Okay, so their roster consists of Ray Allen, the Birdman, Chris Anderson, Joel Anthony, Shane Battier, Chris Bosh, Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole, Josh Harrelson, Terrell Harris, Udonis Haslem, Juwan Howard, LeBron James, James Jones, Rashard Lewis, Mike Miller, Dexter Pittman, Jarvis Varnado, and D. Wade, right? Okay, so in the playoffs, they play, let's see, I think their first playoff opponent was the 38-44 Milwaukee Bucks, which they swept. Then they faced the Chicago Bulls in 2013, and they beat them in 5 games, so that wasn't much. Then they go to the Eastern Conference Finals and play a tough 7 games against a non-prime Paul George and the Indiana Pacers. Very good defensive team, but the Knicks should have beat them. I'm still saying that. Now we get to the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. So now that the 2013 season is over, Miami dominates. So then the chat is on fire. Let's say that Bron can't close games. That means that he's not an all-time great, that he's not in the top 10. Chat, what do you guys think? Nobody said that. Well, I can't say nobody. I definitely didn't say it. Oh, let's see. Now we go to the 2013 NBA Finals. So we got Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili against LeBron, D. Wade, Chris Bosh. NBA Finals 2013, right? So LeBron James' NBA Finals MVP stats for that series were 25, 10.9 rebounds, 7 assists. LeBron led the playoffs in win shares with 5.2. The previous season, he led it in win shares at 5.8. He scored 697 points in the playoffs. This one, he led the league in playoffs at points with 596. LeBron had the most assists of any player in those playoffs. And what about the 2012? No, it was Rajon Rondo with 227. I'm surprised LeBron had the most assists with 152, and then Rajon Rondo was able to get 227 assists in a condensed season in the playoffs. Wow. Anyway, okay. So if we look, so let's break down the 2013 NBA Finals, and then we go Spurs win 92-88. If we look at this game 1, we go to LeBron James. He was 7 of 16. 7 of 16. He had 18 points. He had 18 points. Tony Parker was the best player on the floor for the Spurs. All right, now we go to game 2. Miami wins 103-84. They win 103-84. And then we go back, and let's take a look at LeBron. Mario Chalmers had the highest plus minus of anybody on the floor, plus 30. Ray Allen, plus 27. LeBron was second on the team with plus 29. He was 7 of 17 from the floor. LeBron did have 3 blocks. He had 3 steals. He had 7 assists and 8 rebounds. So he did fill up the stat sheet, but he only had 17 points. So LeBron through 2 games is shooting 14 of 33 from the field. And remember, Danny Green did set the record for most threes hit in an NBA Final Series, which was eventually broken by, you guessed it, Steph Curry. San Antonio wins 113-77, 36-point blowout. LeBron goes 7 of 21 for 15 points, and he actually had the worst plus minus of anybody on the team with a minus 32. Wade was second worst at 29, and Wade actually led all scorers with 16 points in that game. LeBron was 7 of 21, and he had 15 points. So through 3 games, LeBron is 21 out of 54, folks. Again, smash the like and hit that subscribe. Now, let's go. And like I said, we're gonna get to these games, folks. Okay, keep smashing that like and hitting that subscribe. I know I'm not going through the chat. D Wade is better than Curry. Who asked that question? Oh Lord. Oh my God, really? That's funny. Okay. So if we go to game 4, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade have the best games played in the series so far. LeBron has 33 points and he shoots 15 of 25 from the field. That's 60%. Okay, and Wade had 32 on 14 of 25 shots. So that's 56%. Okay. So the Heat win by 16 on the road. Now, if we go to the next game, Spurs won by 10, 114, 104. Game 5. LeBron is 8 of 22 for 25 points. He got to the line 9 times. D Wade was 10 of 22 for 25 points. LeBron James in Game 5 was 8 of 22. So now LeBron is 21, 36 out of, he's 36 out of, wait a minute, 21, 36. He's 36 out of 79 up to Game 4. He's 36 out of 79. Wait a minute, wait. 33, 21. Yeah, 36 out of 79 in through 4 games. And then in Game 5, he goes 8 of 22. So then that puts LeBron at 44 out of 101. 44 out of 101. So LeBron's shooting 43% through the first 5 games. Let me just make sure that I cleared that up. All right, so let me go to Game 6. So now we go to Game 6. This is LeBron's infamous 32-point triple-double game, and I give him props for that. Damn, man, Duncan was killing. He had 30 and 17. Kawhi had 22 and 11. Everybody remembers the infamous Game 6. Okay, LeBron had 32 points. He had 32 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, and a block. He did have 6 turnovers. Wade was 6 of 15. Mario Chalmers actually shot the ball better than anybody, but give LeBron credit. He has 16 points in the 4th quarter. So 11 for 26 puts him at 55 for 127 for the series. So he's 55 for 127 in the series, but give LeBron a lot of credit. He scored 16 points in the 4th. They were down 10. He put them in the position to win, despite the fact that he struggled. We do know that Kawhi missed free throws down the stretch. The Spurs themselves, LeBron almost gave that game away with the turnovers, and then obviously Greg Popovich makes the biggest coaching mistake that he'll ever make. Takes out Tim Duncan. There's no rebounding. You guys already know the deal, and you know how it's going to go. Man, these guys are going in the chat when they're talking about D Wade and Curry. I'm going to have to make another video, man. Pulled his groin, but he all over Kevin Hart laughing, but was low on energy, says Jermaine. Yo, it's got to take my love back for that blasphemy. Versatility itself kills that argument. Damn, these guys are going crazy in the chat, man. It's getting lit up in here, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me just check to see if I have that. Was it this one? I think it was this one. Okay. So let me just go real quick. As you can see, there is Ray Allen right there. I was trying to see if I could get, let me see if I got the bang. Let me see if I can find that one. Trying to see if I find it. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Again, shout out to everybody. Jay says MVP is somewhat an overrated award. It fuels the agenda by the media, not always as an MVP. When the MVP can't thank the media for that. You can thank the media for that. But why would you call Freddie Gee moronic though? Like that ain't cool, bro. I mean, you don't gotta agree with Freddie Gee, but Freddie Gee ain't no moron though. Gotta chill with that G Money. It's true, G Money. You love that back and forth. Like you know, it's true. He knows it. This is what your channel is for, man. It's live in here. That's a fact. They said, y'all, Freddie Gee started watching basketball in 2010. Yo, leave Freddie alone, man. Like, yeah, I gotta chill, bro. All right, man. So getting to game seven, obviously, the Heat win. They live another day. Now let's get to the game seven. Again, shout out to LeBron James for stepping up when they needed to. I know that he almost gave that game away, but again, big ups to LeBron for stepping up, scoring 32-point triple double. You know, he did his thing, despite the fact that people want to say so. He did come up big. Game seven, 95-88. LeBron James, where is there it is. 37 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, shoots 12 of 23 from the field, which would put him at 67 out of 150 for the series. But again, bronze. So people have to understand that if you take games 4 and 7 away from LeBron James, LeBron had one of the worst series he had in you know in his career because he didn't shoot the ball well. If you look at his field goal percentage, um, LeBron James, if you look at 67, LeBron was 67 for 150 in the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. If we do that field goal percentage, and again, shout out to LeBron for stepping up big in Game 7. LeBron only shot 44.6%. I guess if you want to kind of round it off to 45 or whatever, but yeah. So LeBron James wins a second straight championship. Let me see. Shout out to Anthony. He says Frank and Pop both made huge coaching errors in that playoff. Yeah, Hibbert was out the game-winning layup. Braun had Indiana, and Duncan was out the last of playoff game 6. It's true. That's true. That is true. 34 likes, 6 more to go. Just because LeBron isn't in my top 6 or 8 doesn't mean he isn't an all-time great. You thought for you in the same boat. Can't take you serious after that. I guess Gary Payton better too, huh? Oh man. So now we got a shout out for stepping up. I'm trolling. Oh my God. Other than games 4, parts of game 6 and game 7, Braun was pretty bad in that series. Yeah, it was not great. LeBron didn't shoot great from downtown, and like I said, it is what it is. He did step up when it mattered. The Heat win back-to-back titles, and LeBron gets his second straight Finals MVP and NBA championship. Now we go to the 2014 season, ladies and gentlemen. We go to 2014. The Heat are coming off back-to-back titles. People are thinking, can they three-peat? Now we go to the 2014 Miami Heat. All right, now if we go there, if we go to the 2013 season, now we go to 2013, 2014. Just waiting for this baby to load now. Don't know what's taking so long. There we go. Okay, so the Heat were actually predicted to win 54 games that season. They had a little bit of a different roster. So points per game, they were 12th in the NBA. They were still 5th in opponents' points per game. They were one of the slowest paced teams in the league. They were ranked 7th in simple rating system. They were 5th in offensive rating at 110.9. They were 11th in defensive rating, so their defense kind of slipped up a little bit. And Dwayne Wade said it best: they were on cruise control. They were 4th in the league in attendance that year. And if we look at their 2014 playoff run, LeBron has another great season. Let me just check LeBron's numbers real quick. Let me just check. If we look at LeBron's, D Wade only played 54 games in that 2014 season. He was actually more dependable from 2011 to 2013. It was really 2014 was when they kind of went downhill. So LeBron shot 56.7% from the field, 37% from three. He averaged 27 points. His rebounds and assists slightly dipped a little bit, 6.9, 6.3 assists. D Wade's field goal percentage was actually pretty high, 54%. Bosch was at 51% for the third straight year, shooting 50% from the field. He averaged 16 a game. His rebounds went down. But that team was really more so on cruise control by pretty much the entire season. They had this is the team that had Greg Oden, Roger Mason, Michael Beasley, Tony Douglas, with along with the other regulars that we already knew about. All right, so let's go to their playoffs. Straight to the playoffs. In the first round, they face the Charlotte Bobcats. That team, I believe, won 43 games. They swept them 4-zip and sent the the terrible owner that he is, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, packing early. That Bobcats team was okay, but they were not a good team, and I did not expect them to go far. And it's a reason why Michael hasn't really been competitive because he's got too many yes men in his front office. Smash the like button and hit that subscribe button for the Louis Sports Network. All right, let's keep it going, y'all. Let's get back to that brand. So, like I said, as we continue, it's looking really good for Miami. They faced the Brooklyn Nets in the semis. They beat them easy. That's when Paul Pierce and KG got traded, and they also got Jason Terry, but they were pretty much older at that point, and I knew they weren't going to compete against Brooklyn. I said, that's a wash series. I said, Brooklyn got that easy. I said, at best, that goes 5 games, at best. I said, the worst it could be for Brooklyn is 5. I said, they're not letting that. So they dispelled them. Now, the 2014 Indiana Pacers had the best record in the Eastern Conference, but they struggled in the second half of the season after getting off to a blistering start. I believe they started the season 32-10, I believe, that year. So they were 32-10, but after the 32-10, they only went 24-16 the last 40 games of the season. So they went 56 games. But anyway, best record in the East. The Spurs had the best record in the league at 62 wins in 2014. So they pretty much, Indiana gave them more of a fight, I thought, in 2013. 2014, Indiana was down 3-1 to this Miami Heat team that was pretty much on cruise control. And then if you look at the San Antonio Spurs in 2014, they were taken to 6 games by Oklahoma City. I think they beat the Blazers in 5 in 2014. And then the previous round against the Dallas Mavericks, they went to 7 games against Dallas, and they almost lost that series. So the Spurs had lost in every single round. And up to the NBA Finals, the Miami Heat were 12-3. So people were thinking the Spurs were the favorites, though, to win. So they were the favorites. So let's get that clear. But again, the Heat are the defending champions. Maybe give them, give them a chance, right? Give them a chance. Now here it comes. D Wade's knee started to give out around 2013. Freddie is a Curry fanboy. I like Curry, but no way is he better than D Wade. He says, stop smoking. It ain't good for you. Shout out to Jaleel Jones, man, for subscribing to the channel. Truly appreciate it. He says, knees were giving out. Wow, still dropping them excuses till this day. Hadn't heard that one. All right, you are the one that's losing no smoking, Fred. 33-7. Damn, you could tell G Money is like always on that. D Wade has surgeries and procedures just to play in the playoffs. Getting his knee drained throughout the year. This ain't new, man. Google it up. Yeah, I know D Wade was really hurt that year. So that I know. That I already know. The Spurs were good, but not great. No, they weren't that. Listen, they had a great regular season, but they almost lost, man. Yo, Lewis, I don't know if y'all talked about this already, but did you see when Pierce admitted that he spat at the Cavs bench on LeBron's rookie year? Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about it. I'm going to get to Paul Pierce in a second. Layla, co-wheelchair. No, Freddie. It's not co-wheelchair. It's co-load management. So let's remember that. Co-load management. Facts. I only cheerlead and never had an injury, but I've dated basketball players, and trust me, the knees never stop hurting. If I was to get a little inappropriate, yeah, I can't spill the beans like that. I mean, what do they mean by when their knees tremble? But that's just me. I don't want to hear those Bulls teams were loaded when all of LeBron's teams are better man for man. Miami should have beat the Spurs 4-2. Danny Ainge made it out like a bandit while trading KG and Paul Pierce to the Nets. Of course he did. The Heat were favored after they won Game 2. They could have won Game 1 LeBron had the cramps. Also, San Antonio shot 80% in the fourth quarter. Well, we're in 2014 already, bro. So, so we're about to finish, bro. Freddie Gee says, yo, this is slow. This is painful. And it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. San Antonio shot 80% in the fourth quarter in game 1 and 70% in the first half in game 3 in Miami. Yeah, those are some historic numbers, man. Which y'all remember, Lou finished it up. G Money has spent the last 10 years, day for day, trying to debunk LeBron's legacy. Some friend LeBron is for leaving D Wade high and dry twice. Well, actually, he did it once. Remember, because when Dwayne joined LeBron, they ended up trading him back to Miami when Wade is in Cleveland. I said it felt weird to see Wade in the Cleveland uniform. I just felt like it wasn't right, but Yo, you guys get off of Kawhi's. Y'all must be tripping. Come on, fam. Stay in the stream. You're right. Y'all crazy, man. Oh, man. The Heat got the gentleman's sweep. Yeah, they did. Layla's knees never hurt. Wait, what? Yo, okay. So getting to the 2014 NBA Finals, because now we're going to just go through everything. They face the San Antonio Spurs. We got game 1. Now let's look at game 1 and let's look at the series. Because you got to look at this, and LeBron led in win shares. Kevin Durant led in points. Kawhi Leonard obviously won the Finals MVP. Excuse me. Let's continue to get this thing done. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at the series real quick. And definitely going to get this done. So appreciate the people liking the video. He did one out. But also D-Wade was kind of trying to give it a chance to see if they could make the playoffs. But before that, he was gone. So it was gone. It was gone. Wait. You put Freddie Gee in the Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp? Nah. Freddie Gee not on that level, G Money. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You got to do better than that, my man. Nah. Freddie Gee not on that level. Shannon sounds like he wants to marry LeBron. Nick Wright thinks that he can do no wrong, man. But reports were that he didn't tell D-Wade that he was going back to Cleveland till like the last moment. Oh, I know that. Oh, I know. All right, let's go. So game 1, the AC went out cramp game. LeBron James has 25 points. He shoots 9 of 17. Pretty good. That's 53%. All right, game 2. Miami wins 98-96. LeBron James, awesome. 14 out of 22 from the field. Has 35 points. Has the best plus minus on the floor. Damn, Wade only attempted 9 shots. So LeBron's pretty much being aggressive because he only has 3 assists. He has 10 rebounds. Okay. So he did great. So LeBron actually did pretty good the first 2 games. Through the first 2 games, LeBron is shooting 23 for 39. Now, that all looks great. Now let's go to Miami. This is where things look a little bit different when you really focus and box out the series. San Antonio wins by 19 at home, 111-92. Kawhi Leonard, a monster. He was a monster. He scored 29 points in just under 40 minutes. Now, LeBron James played well, but notice that LeBron played 39 minutes. This is where LeBron was starting to stat pad. It wasn't the first 2 games of the series. It was game 3 because San Antonio was up by 20-plus points, and he had no chance of coming back. And LeBron played 39 minutes. Y'all notice that? He played 39 minutes. Like I said, he shot the ball well, but he did not shoot the ball well up to that point. Through 3 quarters, LeBron was shooting the ball horribly. It's just at the end of the day, he ends up 9 for 14, and he only takes 14 shots. LeBron takes 14 shots. So, like I said, the field goal percentage was really nice. The first 2 games, LeBron was great. LeBron was great. Even if you want to put the AC game, LeBron was not really good in game 3. It's just the 9 for 14 is very deceiving when you really watch the game. Okay, but the Spurs win. In game 4, Spurs blew them out by 20 points. 21 points, 107-86. Again, Kawhi Leonard plays well, right? Shoots the ball well in games 3 and 4, right? Let's go to LeBron James. 10 of 17 from the field. He has 28 points. Again, 10 of 17 looks really great. But what does the stat does not tell you? It doesn't tell you how LeBron got those points in the fourth quarter. That's the problem. Yeah, not saying that doesn't say something, but like I said, when you look at games 3 and 4, LeBron was actually really not as good as people claim him out to be. The stats look great, but the thing is, he played 30. Look at that. He played 37 minutes, and he was still in the game while Miami was getting blown out. Eric Spoelstra, at no point did he took him out, which you knew that. And this is the point where LeBron was thinking about leaving. He was thinking about leaving at this point, Miami, to go to Cleveland. And this all stemmed from with Kyrie Irving on what he told them earlier that season, where he was basically saying, "Oh, oh man, keep doing what you're doing, man, because you never know. I might just be back there like one day." That's what he told Kyrie during a regular season game. Kyrie was like really confused as to what he was talking about, and that was kind of giving you an indication that LeBron might make a return to Cleveland. Kyrie was thinking that the team was going to be built around him. Again, smash the like and hit that subscribe. Yeah, this is the flip side. Yep. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. You guys are keeping it. Okay, so like I said, LeBron played well the first 2 games, but games 3 and 4 were very deceiving. LeBron was stat padding in games 3 and 4. He was stat padding. I don't care what anybody says. LeBron was stat padding in games 3 and 4. Because if you look at the minutes, he played 39 and he played 37 when they had no chance to pretty much win. Um, and this is when Wade was pretty much done. 3 of 13 from the field. He had 32 minutes. Chris Bosh actually played more minutes than LeBron. And LeBron took 6 more shots than Chris Bosh did in almost a minute less than he did in game 4. So they lose. Okay, now we go to game 5. So we have a 15-point win, 19-point win, 21-point win, and a 17-point win in game 5. LeBron started out like gangbusters. I remember this game. The Heat were winning 22-6. Even though I said that there was a lot of time left in the game, I said if Miami can pull this off, I said, yo, this might possibly have that feeling of a 3-1 coming back from a 3-1 deficit, to win the championship. And remember, guys, at this point, it was no longer the 2-3-2 format. It went back to the 2-2-1-1-1 format in 2014. At this point, okay, now LeBron started off shooting the ball great, but then the Spurs pretty much took over. They were blowing those guys out. LeBron plays 41 minutes in the game. LeBron was the only player that played 40 minutes. Now, obviously, he's your best player. He had 31 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. He shoots 47%. That was actually the worst game that LeBron actually had in terms of shooting because he was shooting 50 plus the rest of the series. But like I said, if you look at games 3-5, LeBron stat padded more of his fourth quarter points, and they weren't going to win anyway. But like I said, I kind of knew he was kind of getting that treatment just to kind of say, well, he did what he could, but it wasn't going to work, right? But at this point, Wade was pretty much, his knees were done. There was really nothing more he could do. Wow, Jermaine said he said he Pikachu? God damn. I don't know if if Skip isn't BSing on TV, nobody in that group has a chance on a panel. Yeah, that's true. If he doesn't beat us. Yeah, they were outscored 98-65 after that. So they were plus 16, and then they got outscored by 33 points. So that was a 49-point swing. Uh, well, 33-point swing, to be honest. It was a 33-point swing. No, Wade and Bosch did not play great. Wade only shot the ball well one time. Never lost with a 50% win percentage rate versus 6 losses and 17.6 win percentage A rate. The case has been closed. Okay, so at the very end, the Miami Heat lose by a record finals margin, as Skip Bayless always likes to do it. But like I said, that you could. The thing is, people even started to accuse LeBron. Maybe some people were. I don't know. But LeBron in the last three games, in the last 3 games, I thought LeBron was phenomenal in the first 2 games, and then at the start of Game 5. But after that, I knew. But Eric Spoelstra left him in there, as if to say, I don't quit on my team, but he kind of low key did though. What do you mean? How do you pad stats? Easy. When your team does not have a chance of winning the game, but you're still playing in the game that really you have no business being in. It's like they're not going to come back. That's what we mean. It's just like that's when you're putting stats up. Look, there's YouTube videos of the context when it came to Braun padding his stats. And I said he didn't do it the entire series. The first 2 games, Braun was balling. And the early part of Game 5, he was balling. But look at the minutes that LeBron ended up playing. Like they weren't, and it's like you could just kind of tell. Now J Mac, LeBron has too many finals losses to be the GOAT. Mike was the only one at the time that could have 3 rings and be considered GOAT by his peers. The man knows his boxing when he talks about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have come to the end of the road, and I know Freddie Gee is glad that this is over. Enough of this Bron bashing. You hear? Enough of this Bron bashing. This is the 2014 NBA Finals right there. Damn, why they got to do LeBron's nose like that though? Damn, that's effed up. God damn, they got to do that. And when we get back to Kawhi Leonard, there is a young Kawhi Leonard. He ends up winning the Finals MVP. Shout out to welcome to HDI Appreciate it. And yo, make sure to hit the like and hit the subscribe. Appreciate you. But it's true. In games 3 through 5, that happened. People are not going to admit that, but Freddie G, which one is it, bro? No, Max is BS. He's solid at boxing, but yo, he be sometimes be making some crazy takes, bro. No, they don't think he is. I think I know what it is though. Because remember, Michael is a shooting guard. All of those guys are big men. So they're gonna feel a certain way when it comes to Jordan being the GOAT. Because when you look at Matt Larry's a perimeter player like MJ. Magic Johnson is a point guard. So like I said, shout out to welcome to HDIT HDIITV. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. They did that, man. And so yeah, so they end up losing. Kawhi wins the Finals MVP, and that pretty much closes the Heat on their at the very end of their basketball career. And like I said, shout out to Welcome to. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe, man. Again, definitely appreciate you coming through on this. And so I was telling y'all, man, that it's crazy to me that Tony Parker, he tried saying Kawhi was better than Kobe. Yeah, you know what though? The thing is, Kawhi doesn't have enough for me to say that he's better. If Kawhi has to put in once again, if he's putting out more work, trust me, no doubt. Freddie Gee says, I'm saying that if he's playing, you don't want him to score or grab rebounds, but he does have to check himself out, or does the coach have to do that? No, I'm talking about the coach. I'm not talking about LeBron himself. I'm talking about the fourth quarter in particular. I'm saying when there was just pretty much no chance, they decided to leave it in there though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about LeBron himself. He is or was. It's all for show, man. It's all for show. You would have to show me the footage of Spo telling Braun to come to the bench in the blowout, and he says, hell no. I don't think that's actually what happened. I just find it weird that Eric Spoelstra kind of like, I'm going to have to find the footage, but I'm just saying that I knew that those guys, if you look at the way that the Heat played, they weren't going to win the game. Like they were down by as many in the fourth quarter. They looked like they had kind of gave up. They weren't going to come back. And I'm saying that at that point, you just pretty much take LeBron out. But for some reason, he never took them out in games 3, 4, and 5, especially when the Spurs won off those three straight games by double digits. If you take away game 2, in which they lost, that's what it is, man. I don't expect players way before MJ to put him as the GOAT. Nobody should expect anything different. Respect and representing their era as they should. And like I said, I don't have an issue with the big men. Even some of the players that played during their time in the 70s and early 80s prefer those big guys as the GOAT. They're protecting their era. And a lot of people feel like their era gets disrespected because of what I said about last night about Will Chamberlain. And I said, Will Chamberlain plays some tough competition. They just try to use this whole 6'6" white guy stuff, but he went against some tough centers in his time. Just how we talk about Hall of Famers in the 90s, they were Hall of Famers in the 60s too. So I'm keeping it real. LeBron blew his shot at a three-peat or even a four-peat. He could have let Pat Riley build another team around him after Bosh Hart gave out and Wade's needs were bad. I think you're talking about the blood clots, you mean? I think that's what you're trying to say. I think that's what he's trying to say. Look at the Heat now. They look promising. You've been smoking some good stuff, says Mr. Freddie Gee. LeBron is LeBron if he wants to stay in the game. What coach is going to tell him otherwise? Real GOATs will never concede to another GOAT, unlike Bron, offering to play Pippen's role with MJ. I'm just telling the truth, man. You always making excuses when he loses and get easily offended and call us haters when we speak the truth about your lover boy King James, says G Money. I'm sorry, man, but G Money loves this back and forth. I feel like he baits it on purpose. If you're in the game, you need to be putting up stats. That's just me, though. Okay, you know what? Just for you, go watch those 2014 NBA Finals and you'll see what I mean. Wilt has his own category. You could definitely say that. Louis, do you think it's BS or one of many of LeBron left Miami was his fam couldn't sit where he wanted he fam to sit in the arena? Oh, this is a Hell in a Cell match. This is a Hell in a Cell match, Freddie. And one for one better, it's for the WWE Championship. And the winner gets to go to the top of the cage and make somebody famous. That's what this match has been like. This is like Undertaker against Mankind, Hell in a Cell, King of the Ring 1998. Only difference is it's for the WWE Championship. Winner of this match, whoever climbs the cage and is able to put their opponent through the damn cell. I don't think it takes it seriously though, man. When it comes to this stuff, got to be on your toes, bro. Calling us haters shows how sensitive you are when people speak about Brown. I can't say that, man. That's true. LeBron was expecting leeway from Miami, and he knew since Dan Gilbert was the owner of the team in Cleveland, he could get pulled there because you know that LeBron is a superstar player. So that is the end of the Miami Heat era. Miami, to me, they didn't they didn't fail because if they would have failed, they would have went either 0 for 4 or lose 3 out of 4 in championships. They went 2 for 4, so they underachieved. Yes, you could kind of consider it a fail. You could consider it a failure just because of how much expectation that LeBron and that team put themselves. Yeah, funny. LeBron has great timing when it comes to leaving at the right time. I'll give him that. I don't care about stats. Stats without context doesn't mean anything. You can have good stats and they may not have had an impact on the game. Think about it. He didn't give D Wade special privileges nor Shaq, and they won a chip for him. Pat Riley is old school. Yep. I do give LeBron credit for knowing when it's time to leave and rebuild. Freddie, put up stats within the flow of the game, not just play extra minutes and forcing plays. LeBron debates bring out all the wolves. You already know because it's LeBron, bro. Shout out to Caden who says almost 800 subs. I appreciate that. Thank you, Caden. And like I said, if you guys haven't, make sure y'all go subscribe to Caden Alvis. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. He does Atlanta Falcons football because he's a Falcons fan and he is a fan of the Atlanta Hawks. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Caden Alvis, man. I'm looking to just bring everybody up. Again, appreciate it. Every player does it. Well, we're just talking about the finals, but I'm not saying that no players. I'm not saying that they don't do that. But I'm just talking about the finals though. So Lou, did the Miami Heat underachieve? Absolutely, they underachieved because they were expected to be a dynasty, and they didn't live up to the dynasty name. They did win championships, but they did not live up to the dynasty name. And Welcome HD says they failed 3 superstars at the top of their position. You could arguably say that during their time period. Yeah, yeah. Uh, so yeah, Jermaine, big facts, and I'm the lamb. Wait, what did Jermaine say? So the goons are out. The reason I didn't listen to stats from LBJ fans because once I bring up Russell Harden, then they move the goalposts. I see. Well, I'm almost there. Almost there. Haven't got there yet, but I'm almost there at 800, so I'm getting close. We're getting close. Again, appreciate everybody for taking the time to like the videos and again, spread the love. Getting there, but I'm almost there. Ryan says, do you think a team-based team only can be LeBron like a San Antonio team? Well, remember what we said about LeBron. Caden says that did the Heat have a potential of MJ, Pippen, and Rodman? Well, in terms of three-peating, yes. Uh, Rodman is the better defensive player and rebounder. If we're talking about Chris Bosh when it comes to big men, Caden, Rodman's job was not to score, where Chris Bosh, on the other hand, he is a potent offensive player. Uh, so, and Dennis Rodman was all about the psychological game too, trying to get into your head. So not only would he defend you, he would try to outmuscle you, he would try to box you out, but he also tried to get into your head, and he did that with the big man. Yeah, I see what he said, man. It's true. It feels like you're the sacrificial lamb. But I saw you bashing Braun earlier in the comment section, so it's just again, you just try to see things from both sides, and you try to give LeBron, like I said, his props because there'd be a lot of haters out here. But no, I see what you're saying. I saw what Jermaine said. It's true. Any topic that is on this guy right here in that Heat uniform, or in a Cavs uniform, or in a Laker uniform, it's gonna make headlines. But don't worry, we're getting back to Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan tomorrow. So we ain't even gonna be talking about Bron tomorrow. So that'll be boom, boom, boom. If his name happens to come up, it might come up, but it might be just for a particular reason, but not just because I wanted to. So yeah, sacrificial lamb up there in the streets. I feel you. He said, "We know how you disappear." Yo, man. Yo, I gave some work today, man. But when you're dealing with Bron haters, man, you lose it. I don't know about that. I don't give him props, and he isn't hated. He just has underachieved to be 6'9", 269. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, he definitely has underachieved. I mean, what he's achieved is NBA championships. When it comes to finals percentage, no. He's 3-6 in the finals. The thing that I don't like is I've never seen a player more praised for losing like he has. Caden says that would you put Kobe over LeBron on the GOAT list? No, no. Jay need to stop it. LeBron has got to be held to a GOAT standard. I mean, when you call yourself the best player in the world, when you in front of your friends say that beating a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team makes you the greatest of all time, you got to be held to a high standard. So when you get your butt kicked, don't be talking about these excuses. You hold yourself to a high standard. So what do you think the media is going to do? Oh, Ryan says, no, I'm in a team like San Antonio. Can a team that can beat LeBron team as a team or a number one guy on a team leading his team to best LeBron? Well, I mean, it definitely helps to have that number one guy to go up against LeBron. But um, the thing is, LeBron does not do well with team IQ. That's been LeBron's biggest weakness. Like I said, his ego has been a gift and a curse. In terms of a gift, he has great core vision. LeBron James makes great passes. LeBron James is definitely one of the all-time greats. The problem is he wants all the credit when his team is successful, and when his team loses, he wants none of the blame. It's the truth. That's the way that LeBron is playing to the narrative. People cannot deny this, no matter how much people want to try. Just look at LeBron's body language, listen to what he says, and you'll see that that dude has been trying to control the narrative ever since he went to Miami. And it's been happening like crazy since 2014. From 2014 to now, that dude has been all about controlling the narrative. So like I said, I wouldn't do it. So yeah, if LeBron tries to become more of a team IQ guy, trust me, he would have won more. It's the same thing with this whole Hall of Fame coach thing. It gets it. I heard Doc Rivers saying that LeBron succeeded. So how does one succeed when you were called the chosen one? Yo, when you're called the chosen one, you are the one. So praise for losing. Then everyone gets a trophy era. I have Kobe over LeBron. You know what, Freddie G, you're gonna have to name me when he did that. I feel like Kobe came through more in the end of games. To be honest with you, I debunked some narratives that they kept saying that Kobe was not clutch. They just look at the 7 for 28. The problem is what the media does, Caden, and you're gonna learn this over time. They 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 do selective stats with certain players that they like over another player to try to make it seem like that one isn't as good as the other one. But there's other stats that are hidden in research that people don't want to talk about that they just kind of hide. It's all love, man. I just like talking smack. I don't care who likes who. I know I roll with. I'm just a basketball lover. It's true, man. It's all love at the end of the day. It's all love at the end of the day. Me too. Kobe over Bron. Like I said, who do I prefer in terms of like who would I rather watch in terms of Kobe and LeBron? I would prefer to watch Kobe. Like the way Kobe plays. I know he's a carbon copy of MJ, but I just like the way that Kobe played. I mean, that's all it is. Oh, I just worded my question wrong. Got you. Okay, I see. And Kobe has the most wins against 50-win playoff teams. Now, they're going to say with Kobe that, well, 13 of those 25 wins, he had Shaq. And 12 of the wins, he had Pau Gasol. I'm like, but do you know? But here's the question that I'm going to tell y'all, man. Do y'all notice that when it comes to big men as to why they're not considered the greatest of all time, even though some of the bigs have a case to be the GOAT, is because they'll talk about the players that the GOATs have played with, and they look at those guys as people who couldn't create their own shot, like a Kareem, like a Bill Russell, you know, Will Chamberlain, even though, like I said, Will was so dominant anytime you gave him the ball. Um, but notice that they prefer the wing players. If you look at the top 10 list, how many bigs are in this top 10? And it honestly really depends on who you have. So you have Shaq. Some people don't have him in the top 10. You got Tim Duncan. Some people don't have him in the top 10. You have Wilt, you have Russell, and then you have Kareem. And then you have Hakeem. So it really depends, but you have five bigs that are in your top 10 if they are in your top 10. If not, you have four, you maybe have three. So 3 to 5. What does that tell you, folks? That they're more preferred to guards. They're more preferred to wing players. Magic is the only point guard that's in the top 10 on most people's list. Magic is in the top 10. If you look at Bron, if you look at Larry Bird, if you look at Jordan, but that's what they'll tell you. Because if you look at Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, those guys are top 50 players. Well, Kevin McHale, not really, more so Robert Parrish, but I think Kevin McHale was in the top 50. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but Shaq isn't in my top 20. Okay. Shout out to Layla who says we've reached the big 4-0. Let me just check real quick. I'm surprised that I see different numbers every time I see. I tell you, man, this thing is the own analytics thing. Louis, if you had one game to win, who would it be, Kobe or LeBron? You're gonna go with Kobe. He's willing to take that shot. Hakeem is the best big man of all time. I'll say he's the most skilled. Tyrese says with the media, Kobe's the only player who can't have help. Shaq isn't in my top 20. Okay, how many shooting guards are in the top 10? If you look at Jordan, he's the only one. Jordan is the only one that's really in the top 10. Now, if you want to put Kobe in there, that'd be two. That'd be two. How many small forwards are in the top 10, or at least in most people's top 10? It would be LeBron and Larry Bird. And the reason that LeBron has his opportunity is because of the fact that he, what was I going to say? That LeBron, in LeBron's case, he has the longevity going in his favor, and you can make the case that he can be the best small forward of all time. Now, I personally don't think he is, but I still got Larry Bird over him because Larry accomplished as much as LeBron did in less time. Larry Bird's not really on TV, so they don't really talk about him. And Larry Bird was really not about media. He's not about the spotlight. So Larry Bird is just about playing basketball. I missed Caden had said something, my bad, and I think I missed what he said. Caden says LeBron never wants to take the last shot. That's my only problem. No, I think that LeBron is more willing to take jumpers, but I know people have kind of been selective about his last moment shots though. You got Dennis Rodman? Wow. That's shout out to Winetta Thomas, man. Uh Ron is right. It's not a big man's fault that they can't create their own shots. And you have to understand the position and what is the role of the people. That's why when I listen to these dudes in the media networks, they really just don't make sense. That's not the job of a big men on the heavyweights. People create their own pound for pound list, but in reality, the most dominant players are usually the big players, and that's correct. That's right. Freddie's right. I can never see the fuss about Hakeem. Footwork doesn't win chips. Footwork doesn't win chips. Hmm. Well, couldn't you say Hakeem's skill set helped him be the dominant player that he is? And again, Hakeem is the only player that I can say in NBA history who won the championship with the least amount of help of any top 10 all-time great anyway. So Hakeem deserves his props, to be honest with you. Not Michael Jordan, not LeBron James, not Magic, not Kareem, not Russell, not Shaq, not Duncan, not Wilt. Hakeem. He was MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, with one of the weakest supporting cast on the 94 Rockets. Oh, by the way, that team won 58 games. And Hakeem won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and he won Finals MVP in the same season. He's the only player to do that. And he did that with the 94 Rockets. They didn't have a single player average more than freaking 13 points per game in the NBA playoffs. That's crazy. Big men do get the most love in the top 10 when you think about it. That's true. Shout out to Winetta Thomas. She said that she was watching School Days. That's all good. Oh, Ryan says he meant which is the best way to beat LeBron in his prime? Play as a team versus the number one go-to guy who leads his team to win. No, you play as a team. If LeBron started taking the last shot, then I would have him over Kobe. I see. Shout out to Victor Buckets. He's talking about Dwayne is so underrated. Oh, damn. D. Jeff is in here? Oh, wow. Look at that. Um, what number am I seeing in terms of the like count? It just dipped down to 32. I don't understand why this happens. I really don't. It's crazy. I don't understand why it be like that. I see 32. It was just at 33. Do you welcome to? Do you have your top 20? Share some. Shaq not in your top 20 is very interesting. Jordan and Kobe are in it with Iverson. What spot do you have Iverson at? Larry Bird says he chooses Kobe over LeBron. Well, he said if he wants to have fun, he chooses Bron. If he chooses he wants to win, Larry Bird. Larry Bird is number 5 on my list. Shout out to Speaking My Sports Talk, man. Smash that like and subscribe right now for your boy. Isaiah and Magic are in my top 10. Isaiah Thomas has a case to be a top 10 player. It's crazy. And shout out to Speaking Mind. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. D in the building. Yes, Rodman is in my top 5. He dominated the game on both ends of the court and has the highest win percentage of all time. I guess he's talking about Detroit, San Antonio, and Chicago. YouTube is trolling, man. Yeah, they take away likes. I don't understand. Mrs. Thomas, exactly. Glad to see you. Queen Layla, no doubt. Shout out to Winetta. Welcome. Kobe and Hakeem are the most skilled players in NBA history. I agree with that. D. Jeff, Dwayne is so underrated. Facts. He is. Tyree Ryan, Hakeem was that dude. Facts. I got to do a video on D. Wade, man. I don't know what's going on about this dude. I really don't know what's up with that dude. 2 chips is 2 chips, and back-to-back on that. Can only play your opponent. Definitely true. That's a good point, Jay. I know this is off topic, but will Trae Young win a ring in the next 5 years? I would love for Trae Young to win a championship. It just depends on how Atlanta, on how they build their team around Trae. So I think it's going to depend on how they build up Trae. I like Cam Reddish a lot. Um, I like John Collins. I just wish he didn't get suspended for the whole PED use. Um, I like Kevin Huter. The Hawks have a nice little young team. They just need to get some veterans. Obviously, Trae Young has got to get better. He was dominant when MJ left. What about before and after MJ was in the league? No, when MJ was in the league, remember Hakeem started to decline. He started to get injuries. Also remember that Hakeem plays in that tough Western Conference too. Hakeem played with the weakest set of talent of all time of any superstar, even though no huggers want to say Mike. No, Mike played with some weak cats, but they weren't as weak to Hakeem. Not even close. Would Shaq's game be more impossible if Shaq had the same footwork as Hakeem? He'd be more difficult to guard. Shaq, if Shaq had Hakeem's footwork, it's over for the league. And it was already that way for a long time for a little bit when Shaq was the most dominant player in the game. He was the best center in the NBA from 99 to 2002. Maybe 2003. I'll give Shaq that stretch. Tyree says Kareem is number 1. Jordan is number 2. Russell 3, 4, Kobe 4. 5 Magic, Shaq 6, 7 Larry, 8 LeBron, 9 Wilt, 10 Hakeem. I got Hakeem higher because despite winning 2 chips in 3 tries, he did a lot more with less, man. All that, yeah, YouTube be doing that, man. It's ridiculous, man. Shout out to Victor Buckets, by the way. Freddie, Hakeem played with less talent than MJ, but you think Bron always played with bums. If anything, they'll go back, Louis. I had 62 and it went down to 51, but jumped back up to 66. All right, cool. That's good to know. Be for real. People say he played with the most. 5 of 6 Michaels championships, he had the worst supporting cast of all time by a championship team, and that's actually on the road to the NBA Finals. That's actually true. You can look that up. Jordan 1, 2, Kobe, 3 Wade, 4 AI, 5 Agent 0. Are those your top 5 2 guards? Damn, what about Clyde Drexler? All right. Well, again, it's your list, Ryan. That's my criteria for GOAT, because if you got to rely on someone to have to get you the ball and you can't get it, then you don't get the opportunity to be the man. You got to be able to do it yourself. Okay. D-Wade was dominant as hell in his prime. Freddie says G Money. Bron played with 5 superstars and stars. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Trey won't win in Atlanta. He may win if he moves out. Like I said, it's going to depend on how Atlanta builds their team, though. I feel like trading for Clint Capella is a step in the right direction. Yeah, I mean it is be just for the fact that he gives them rebounding, some shot blocking. They really don't have that good of a rebounder. He's a nice lob threat for Trey Young, so that's a very good point. So good point that you made, Caden. Freddie, don't try to act like you objective when it comes to Braun. Deep down, you think Braun played with bums and tried to downgrade his teammates. LeBron has had a lot of help. D Wade is why LeBron started winning. D Wade and CB get lost in LeBron debates. It's not a bad list. Declined. He won chips like that. Now he was out of his prime in injuries. No, actually, no, because Hakeem was actually in his prime in 31 to 32. He did make 2 All-Star teams in 96 and 97, but what I'm saying was he wasn't that same dominant Hakeem that he was in 94 and 95. You could clearly see the difference in Hakeem. How many Finals MVPs will LeBron have had? Would LeBron have playing with Shaq in Shaq's first 3 rings? That's a good question because I just don't know. I'm not even really sure, man. Oh, I see. He was trolling. All right. I mean, it's all good. I just found it interesting, Ryan. That's what it is. Kyrie does that too. It's true. It happens with Kyrie as well when he gets lost. Okay. Braun has played with 5 greats, very good players: D Wade, AD, Kyrie, Kevin Love, and Chris Bosh. All them dudes are future Hall of Famers. My Hawks getting love from the chat. I like that. G Money loves trolling. I said 5 players and you want it to be 15. Stop smoking, dude. 76, Popeye Jones 81, Enos Cancer 1007, OKC bench. LeBron don't go to Miami and he has 1 ring only. Okay, if you say so. Yeah, but G Money, every time you say so, you follow with something else, bro. It's crazy. All right, shout out to Caden, man. He says, who do you think the Atlanta Hawks will draft if we get the lottery pick? Good question. Juanetta says, Lewis, who are your top 3 GMs in the NBA today, and who are your top 5 GMs in NBA history? Damn. Well, Jerry Krause is one of the GMs when it comes to history, so you got to put him up there, whether you like him or not. So he's one of them. Top 3 GMs in today's league. Um, I got to put Pat Riley up there when it comes to all time for him to be able to put the team together that he's done with right now, and then with and then what he did with D Wade and LeBron and Bosh. So I got to put him there too. Uh, so let's see. In terms of all time, I already have who? Jerry Krause, Pat Riley when it comes to basketball ops. I got to put Jerry West up there for sure. Freddie hasn't won with AD, so he can't be above players LeBron has won with. You just degraded Kyrie, Love, and Bosh with that comment. AD is great, but he hasn't won with LeBron yet. Trey Young is a Lou Will. You think he's a Lou Will? I was looking at Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards would be a good pick for the Hawks. If Shaq in his prime with Hakeem footwork and prime 2008 Kobe on the Lakers, they win 8 chips because the motivation will be there to keep winning. We lucky he get that because he was playing with scrubs before Miami. Keep smashing that like. YouTube won't win. The Popeye Jones reference for real. I want the Hawks to draft Anthony Edwards. I think he'd be good for the Hawks. It's true. They're gonna be good soon. I'm talking about talent, and I didn't rank them in any order. God damn, can I say anything without y'all feeling some type of way? Fredemy, you're a hawk. That's what's up. Elton Brand is really good. Mm, I got to question Elton Brand. He's not as like good as I thought he would be. Jerry West is the GOAT GM, and that's hands down. Kobe, Hakeem, Rodman, Tim, Iverson, Isaiah, Larry Bird, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Oscar, Bill, Wilt, Jerry, Kevin, James, Moses, Barkley, and George the Iceman Gervin. God damn, welcome. Currently, Jerry West is the GOAT GM. Today would be GM of OKC. Yeah, you got to put Bob Myers up there. You got to put Masai Ujiri, and for sure, I would love to give it to Sam Presti, but he's also made some very horrible decisions. Pat Riley, D Wade, he said Lou Will, no doubt. Name off the roster. I think the Hawks can get an AFC next year. It's the Eastern Conference. They could definitely get a shot. 20th pick is Paul Pierce. I really want, I really do. Big Z, Gibson, Hughes, Jamison, Good, and Ben Wallace, Wally Serbiak, and etc. Smush Parker was the go-to bench players. No, the Cavs, again, those were not talented teams. Talent, no. Scrubs, no way. Hmm. Let's see. Freddie, maybe list the players that he's won with already so that their props and respect is given because it was earned. Jermaine says Smush for GOAT bench players, even though he started with Kobe. Shout out to the Miami Clinic and the 2-week trip. CB, what's up? Elton was soft as ice. He's made some questionable decisions as the GM of Philly. CP3 should have been league MVP. I mean, his best shot was 2008. Shout out to Kenneth. Oh, G Money says, would you rank any of those players in the top 50 at that time? I created a list just for you. They were good from 06 to 2010. Wasn't Big Z an all-star with the Cavs? He made it in 2005. Caden says, man, I'm going to head out. Thanks for having me. Of course, anytime, Caden, man, you're more than welcome to come here. I mean, you made some good points. It's obviously that you are very knowledgeable of the game. Uh, Listen, man, make sure y'all go subscribe to Caden, man. I told you, he's got some really good content. So go make sure to go check him out. G Money says it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a top 50 all-time player to be good. That's a very good point. You got to break down people's games. Big Z was an all-star in 03 and 05. All right, man. Shout out to Speaking My Sports Talk, man. Peace out, Broham. Eyes are getting heavy. Just wanted to come through and show some support. Enjoy the stream. Shout out to D Godfather, and make sure y'all go subscribe to the man's channel. Dang, man. So I got to name the champions first so it won't hurt your feelings. Got you. Tyree says, we also need a clear understanding of what an MVP is. Is it the best player on the best team, or is it the best player on the team that needs him the most? That's what I'm saying, that the MVP has kind of lost its. I don't know what an MVP is. G Money, 2009 and 2010 was Big Z a top 50 player? Trying to say in the NBA. Welcome says, people forget LeBron had 260 win teams before he went to Miami. I mean, they won 60 games. You going to talk about the truth in LeBron's history? Yeah, I'm going to get to that now. He says, I'm not a Love fan and I'm not big on Bush neither, but they did win a chip with him. AD's trying to be the big difference. It's respect. Knew their roles, but Freddie Gee thinks that they were nobodies. Big Z is not a top 50 player, but he wasn't a trash player. Zajunas is not a top 50 player. That's pretty obvious. But the man was not trash. I mean, he made an all-star team with LeBron, God's sakes, man. Shout out to Wanetta. I'm out. I have some prep cooking to do. Peace and love. Shout out to Wanetta. Peace and love, man. Peace and love. Okay, so now let's get to Paul the Truth Pierce here. Where is Paul at? There he is. Look at that beautiful smile of Paul Pierce. So now let me address this guy. So apparently he does not have LeBron in his top 5, and the media has been ripping him for it. And a lot of fans, and they've said, Paul Pierce, well, listen, Paul makes some outlandish takes. I mean, the guy does work for that brand at the end of the day. And on top of that, I mean, what was the man saying, for God's sakes? The man said that he's a better than D Wade and Klay Thompson. That's how delusional Paul Pierce is. But was that guy a great player? Absolutely. And Paul deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, though. You know, Kenneth Wright says, how many centers were better than Big Z in 2006, though? There was quite a few of them that were better than Big Z, to be honest with you. And like I said, I don't got an issue with Paul Pierce not having LeBron in his top 5. I mean, it's ridiculous, and I'm gonna make a video on that tomorrow with Paul, and the issues that people that are having with that. And he says to me he was better than D Wade and Klay. When it comes to, I would say Paul is a better player than Klay Thompson. Maybe not a better defender, but a better overall player. D Wade, absolutely not. But I will say that Paul was the truth when it came to taking and making big shots. Those are facts. And Paul, excuse me, I keep saying Paul. Paul was a 10-time All-Star in his career. He'll lose, though. Probably was the weakest era of center in the history of the NBA. That's not a good look, fam. Jamal McGlory made an All-Star team in 2004 or 2005. It was actually 2004. You're right. So you were around the ballpark. Finally, I feel that the truth set me free, speaking facts. Hallelujah. So Paul Pierce's reasoning for this was that LeBron, he did not really make, when it comes to legacy standpoint, he didn't make the Cavaliers into a winning organization in terms of championships. And then when it's with Miami, he also says that he underachieved in Miami. They won 2 championships in 4 attempts. So he was 2-2 in Miami, and he's 1-4 as a Cavalier. So that's where Paul Pierce feels like, because of that, he's not a top 5. He doesn't feel that LeBron is in the top 5. Pierce has him in the top 10. And I've said this on record, and I agree with Paul Pierce, that LeBron is not a top 5 player. I don't care what anybody says. I agree with Paul Pierce. I'm not going to disrespect the man that said I'm going to take him out of my top 10. That's just my personal opinion. I just said, when you have lost 6 out of 9 NBA finals, especially in some of the ways you've lost them, I cannot put you above the other players. I cannot do that. The problem is, I don't know why people find it disrespectful that you don't have them in the top 5. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's subjective, and it's your list. That's what it is. It's your list. People get so offended. You just disrespected LeBron's manhood because you don't got him in the top 5. And like I said, this is really the first time that LeBron is playing with a dominant big. Imagine if Boston would have had the services of Bias and Reggie. Well, if they did come back, which is true. I feel you too. Welcome, no doubt. It's cool. Those are facts. That's what he needs. Teammates to do their job. This year was a good year because his window is closing. Yeah, the thing with Big Z was he had a lot of injuries. So Jermaine says that Braun is top 6 to 10. He's 6 to 10. I got him at 8. It showed how the media reacted towards Pierce when he said that. Of course. Look how offended they got. Antoine Jameson was putting up 50 the year before in Golden State. Somehow he's Swiss cheese as far as Brown fans are concerned. Explain that. I don't know. Somebody needs to tell them. They all hurt in their feelings. Like, it's unbelievable, man. So Big Z was good in 2009 or 2010. You said the last time he made the All-Star team was in 2005 when he didn't make the playoffs. Didn't make it in 2003 either. Well, in terms of 2003, that Cavs team was a very horrible team. The 2005 team were actually in playoff contention right up until Paul Silas got fired. As soon as he got fired, the Cavs fell out of the playoffs. They won 42 games. That was LeBron's second season. You know, he obviously did do better. Um, Z and LeBron did make the All-Star team together in 2005, but the Cavs were actually the fifth seed before Paul Silas got fired. That's something that nobody really talks about when it comes to the 2005 season. So yeah, at the end, they didn't make it. That's right. And he had a lot of foot injuries. What does he have to do to get into the top five? Are we talking about LeBron James? He has to obviously improve that finals record. That's for one. Because if he can get himself at least if he could get himself, I would say, if he could possibly get himself two more rings, if he can get himself two championships, because remember, a lot of LeBron fans are saying that you're gonna see LeBron get two rings in LA, or we're gonna three-peat. We have to see what happens this season first. If he gets one ring and he happens to win a back-to-back championship, LeBron will be accepted as a Laker. He still will not be an all-time great Laker because he didn't spend enough time there. If you look at all of the great Lakers that have won championships, they were there from the minimum, the very minimum, at the very least 8 seasons in Laker uniform. Shaq won 3 in a Laker uniform in 8 years. Kobe won 5 in 20. Kareem won 5 in 13. Magic won 5 in 12. Like, Will Chamberlain, Will Chamberlain, he is a great Laker because his jersey's retired, but he didn't even spend that much time with the Lakers. But I think he spent, what was it, 6 or 7 seasons? So there's some there, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's correct. He played for the Warriors in the early 2000s. All greats need help, man, but LeBron needs help. Big Z averaged 17 and 7. Ayton as a rookie averaged 16 and 10. Dude, you need to stop. Some people act like being considered a top 10 player of all time is an offense. No, man, you're considered one of the 10 greatest. Think of all the great players that have played in the history of the game. For me to have LeBron at number 9, that's how much I consider you as an all-time great. But no, people find it offensive that he's not in my top 5, top 3. Oh, he's definitely number 2. But some people never really make a case as to why LeBron's number 2. And when they say it, they come with their usual stuff. But I never hear context when it comes to that argument, when it comes to him. And the problem is, what killed LeBron from ever getting into my top 5 was the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks already killed that. Yeah, if you look at Pau Gasol, that's true. Bro, Ayton is the only a second-year player. He isn't better than Big Z, bro. Wow, he's saying that Freddie's smoking that weed. If LeBron was all that, the media would not be making all these excuses for him. It's true. G Money can point fingers at Freddie when you do the same thing. Come on now. It's true. That's what I'm saying with G Money, man. You cannot be pointing at Freddie Gee when you do the same thing. And it's especially when we talk about every time with the Warriors and the Rockets and the Raptors. You do the same thing, bro. So you can't just be pointing at Freddie Gee about that. That doesn't make any sense. The media has done a major disservice comparing Brown with Jordan. Watch the news. I love what you just said right there. I love that first line. Funny how Isaiah Thomas says the media, and the NBA has done a disservice to LeBron James. But that was the line that said right there. Let me read that again for the folks in the back who can't hear. The media has done a major disservice comparing LeBron James with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all it is, man. Now, if you look at the thumbnail that I put up here, it's Miami Heat's history, a little bit of history, right? Okay. Well, Kareem went to the finals, so he has won the most for the Lakers. Well, actually, he has the same amount as Magic does with 5. Powell is another Scottie Pippen, great #2 role player. Layla says he's smashing the like, sub in the Cash App. Freddie says, yeah, I think Big Z broke his foot a couple of times. Y'all know G Money is enough. Exactly. So it goes both ways, man. All right, man. You guys have been unbelievable out here in these NBA streets on the Lewis Sports Network. Again, keep smashing that like and keep hitting that subscribe button, man, for your boy Lewis Sports Network. And so we are pretty much at the conclusion. Tyrese says Powell is not even top 50. Did y'all think about that? I'm gonna listen to the chat now, and I might fall asleep. My apologies, Lou, in the chat. Now it's all good, bro. Take care of yourself, and be easy. You just think that they're not the greatest team ever. That's what you meant to say, right? And Welcome says Powell is not even top 80. Damn, I don't know about top 80. Damn. Well, I mean, if he says that, in your opinion, do you really think that I hate Braun? The thing with you, Freddie, is that you tend. I mean, I'm sorry, I said Freddie. I meant G Money. Freddie, that good comeback, Freddie. Do you hate Mike? Do you think that he hates Mike? Oh no, it's definitely been lit up in here. So do you think I hate Braun? I don't think you hate Braun, but I just think that sometimes with in terms of the whole name calling thing, it's like you'll say this, but then it's like you'll name call somebody out, and it's like you can't do that when it's like you've done it before, man. Because then if one person is one thing, then another person is another. It happens. Exactly. And Jay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Jay, I don't have you blocked no more. Powell not top 50 and Bynum not top 100. Well, we know that. He was making a point, yeah. He said blocks going around in this piece. In other words, the block is hot. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So before I close the show, I thought this was a damn. Everybody brought that heat, man. It's crazy. All right, so let me just go back into the chat once again. Um, you guys have been unbelievable. You guys always kept that fire. He said blocks going around in this piece. My apologies for that. I thought you was more like 6'2", 200, man. Man. Freddie, I need more room at times. My bad. Try to get this gist out here. Ron says, all right, be good, and I'll check y'all later. How is it Kendrick Perkins, LeBron man now? Listen, Kendrick is doing that for show. He knows it ain't true because he called Jordan the GOAT last year. Kendrick Perkins doing it for show. Funny how he goes on the network and all of a sudden Bron is the GOAT. It's ridiculous. It's one thing if you say that LeBron is the GOAT, but it's like all of a sudden, man, when you know that your friends are all working on the network that props LeBron the way they do, and then you got Kendrick Perkins is the latest one. Come on, man. I can already tell. I can already tell. So yeah, when it comes to the big three, they were able to win. They were successful in winning 2 NBA championships, but they underachieved because they never lived up to their dynasty billing at the end of the day. And it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Oh, and shout out to Layla for donating today. I did get that notification. Shout out to you, Layla. You were obviously you were great. Definitely appreciate it. So, so we got them receipts, man. We got the receipts right here in these NBA streets. You already know it. Yeah, I noticed, brother. You ain't bad at all. You just gonna give me hell about Braun, and I'm cool with that. No doubt, no doubt. And Watchful News says Jameson is the only player in the NBA to not be a Hall of Famer, even though he has 20,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, and 1,700 assists, but he's not good. Byron, Peace Ryan. I don't like LeBron or Michael Jordan. Really? So who's your favorite player? Well, welcome. Let me know. The Celtics underachieved like hell. Yeah, they did. The Celtics were even worse. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you don't have to donate, but if you would like to, the PayPal is in there. Obviously it's your option. You don't have to. If you would like to, that's awesome too. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Louis putting a close to this stream. Again, love the comment right here. We chat together, stream together. We fan for like, live, laugh, love, of course, as always. Oh, Penny Hardaway's your guy. Good choice. I love Penny. I still collect his phone pauses. The Celtics were much older, but they still did underachieve though. With all that talking that they tend to do, they act like their 2008 title they three-peated. So yeah, I do find a little bit ridiculous on that part. But ladies and gentlemen, man, this is an end. And yes, this trio right here could have definitely won more championships. They could have, they didn't, but it is what it is. We're coming back with Michael, Horace, and Scottie Pippen tomorrow and Jerry Reinsdorf. So stay tuned for that one. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all kept it lit. Yo, the 1 cent, bro. I have pennies. I have his phone posits. I have the university blue foams. I have the beautiful candy coated red foams. I love those a lot. Those really pop, especially when I wear black jeans with those. Fire. Then I got the foam posit black pros. I got those as they like to tend to call them the Dr. Doom, even though they're more simple. And then the last one, I have the Foamposite Pro Gold. Those are my favorite to wear. The Foamposite Pro Gold, I love those, wearing them with the black. Love them. Love them. They're fire. And like I said, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But again, peace out to you. And you've been great. And let me see. Joel says, great video. Appreciate it. Nice video. Nice. Take care, Jay. You've been great. Magic is my favorite player, and Penny's my second favorite point guard. That's what's up, Freddie. That's what's up. All right. So Tyree says, do you think Chris Bosh regret going to Miami where he became the third wheel? I don't think so because he won chips. He won championships. I think if he didn't win, he would have regretted it. Or he might say he didn't because he got to play with great players and he would have tried. But trust me, that's right. Another one down in the books. Magic was Magic. Penny needed a new body. He would have. It's true. Penny needed a new body. Peace out, everybody. Again, this is your boy Louis Sports Network with another one. Like, share the videos, subscribe to the channel. From your boy Louis. Appreciate everybody. Bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching the stream. Thank you for being a part of the stream, I should say. Like I said, man, for the love of the Louis Sports Network, man, we always talk about it when it comes to sports, basketball, wrestling. I'll get back on my content. Football, I have to get back on that as well. But man, it is what it is, man. So like I said, man, bless up, live, laugh, love, man. Thank you and thank you for being part of the stream. Thank you for being down with another one. A shout out to Jermaine for that one. Grant Hill. And he says, I swear, I could sit and watch Penny highlights all day. I like guys who can dish that thing. Oh, that's facts. Penny is my guy. And why you think I collect his shoes? Oh, by the way, If you're a penny fan and if you like the Air Pennies, they're coming back out with the Air Penny 3. I think those shoes are fire. Those shoes are fire. But anyway, bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, guys. And I will see you back tomorrow on Memorial Day. Hope everybody is down.